not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hello, friends. The Monty Show is live on Wednesday, April 15th. Hope you paid your taxes right here on The Monty Show. It is tax day, and as always, we're presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. And listen, I think the Advocates understand when you've been in an accident, it's one of the worst days of your life. That's why the Advocates aren't asking you to scratch a check right out of the gate. No consultation fees, no big retainers, no friends. Just clear, risk-free advice, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com, where you can chat with a real live injury attorney online. No chat bots, no AI. No, friends. You chat with a live injury attorney right now at theadvocates.com. And again, I think I would encourage you, if you happen to get in an accident, and I hope you never do, because trust me, I've totaled a car in ice, and it's terrible. It is the worst feeling. Hand all that uncertainty to the Advocates, right? That's why you call the Advocates first. It's why you get to theadvocates.com. It's why you put their number in your phone. So when you get in an accident, you call the Advocates. They're going to be ready to serve you right now. And they act with empathy and understanding, because not only have they fought the fight you're about to get into, they've won it. Get to theadvocates.com. All right, big day of sports news for you. There is a bunch of breaking news out of the golf world. We'll have a bombshell report on LIV Golf coming up here. We've got to talk football word salad with Pete Golding. I mean, that's a big story. James Franklin, frankly, still has a punchable face. But this Marcus Freeman interview yesterday with Bussin' with the Girls was very interesting. Now, I think you guys know I am not a Taylor Lewan fan. I think as far as despicable human beings go, there are a few higher on the list, right? I mean, go do the research. It's not hard to find. They do an interesting podcast at Bussin' with the Boys. And recently, it's been must watch because of who they've been talking to. We've run the Joey Maguire, Notre Dame sucks stuff all week long, right? And you hear the jealousy and the vitriol that comes from guys like Joey Maguire saying that Notre Dame has an unfair advantage and should have to join a conference.
My stance for Notre Dame, that's my stance is everybody should be in a conference.
Yeah.
And period. Like you can't have, no matter if you think the SEC is better than the Big 12 or the Big 10 or whatever, AC, whatever that is, you can't have a metrics that you're playing this way and then somebody else gets to play this way.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that's like the same. Like, so don't complain about it, if you don't get in. And that's right. The Notre Dame fans are going to get pissed off.
Who complained about it? Well, everybody complained about it. I agree. But after Bavacqua's ridiculousness of the greatest 10-game stretch we've ever seen, all that's kind of gone away. Well, if you're going to play it, thank you. Good Lord. All that's kind of gone away. And then Marcus Freeman went on Bussin' with the Boys yesterday, and of course they asked him.
I think there's advantages to being in a conference, and there's advantages not being in a conference. There's a lot of positive things that trust me, that nobody was complaining about when we made the playoffs the year before, right? And the independents, we look at it as a positive, right? And if there's, listen, we lost 2 games and didn't make playoffs. And so if our administration ever feels like we are truly at a competitive disadvantage by not being in a conference, I'm sure that we'll join a conference. But we shouldn't have lost 2 games.
It's a great answer.
As simple as that.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
I'm in.
Right? That's it. You shouldn't have lost 2 games. How many times have I sat here and said, well, maybe if you hadn't lost those 2 games, right? Maybe if you weren't starting an inexperienced rookie-ass quarterback, maybe if your defense had tried to, I don't know, take somebody's head off at the goal line just one time in Miami, we're not having this conversation. Oh, that's right. You weren't prepared for that game. You weren't. And he knows it. They talked about it. And it was a largely, if I'm being honest, that interview was pretty ass. He said a whole lot of nothing. The best thing that came out of that is that Marcus Freeman's clothing, because Marcus Freeman, as a Notre Dame fan, I don't own much.
And girth.
Listen, dude, I wear a size 15 shoe. Small penis guy. Straight away, I totally admit it.
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
You know, the best thing that came out of that interview was Marcus Freeman's wardrobe is going to be released because he gets elite. He has a sweatshirt that has a huge gold shamrock on it. It's white and it's got a huge gold shamrock on it. The sweatshirt he wore right here. Look at this sweatshirt.
I think there's advantages to being in a conference and there's advantages not being in a conference. There's a.
Where's the sweatshirt? Oh, it's in the Marcus collection. And there
he gets me and his money.
And the problem is that Notre Dame is an Under Armour school, so that largely lessens the desire to own Notre Dame gear. I own 2 pieces of Notre Dame gear. I have a Rowback hoodie, and I have a Notre Dame golfing guy thing. And the Rowback one is far better than the Under Armour one, which is why I don't wear the Under Armour one very often, because it's just not great. Right. But having said that, Notre Dame should not join a conference. I will just continue to sit here and say, tell me why Notre Dame should join a conference. If Joey finds Notre Dame to have such an advantage, why isn't Texas Tech go independent? Why are all the haters not independent? Oh, because it's really difficult. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to like write your own schedule. Oh, yeah. You got to get a Notre Dame type TV deal. Is Texas Tech pulling an NBC deal? Well, I mean, with ESPN, they'd have the same deal that BYU had. Oh, we want to pool our media rights. See, you can't pool your media rights and be independent. Funny how that works. And I feel like it's complete nonsense. I think all this is jealousy and hate that you don't have the challenges and the uphill fight that Notre Dame has. Because Notre Dame, very similarly, I think, and to a much lesser extent than BYU, but Notre Dame has to do it better than everybody else. Because they will not get the benefit of the doubt. They just won't. And
yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, Notre Dame, it's a very simple equation. I mean, I think that the benefit of the doubt for Notre Dame doesn't exist in one way or another because it's just a very simple black and white thing. It's just, hey, you either won the games or you didn't. There's not this dynamic of, well, you were a 10 gamer and, you know, you had this and that on your, like, I mean, yeah, we talk about it, but in reality, like, if you're a 2-loss Notre Dame team, you're not in the CFP. I mean, that's just, I just think it's
not happening.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that that's pretty straightforward. And most people, are on the same page with that. And I do think that it's good that Marcus is saying, hey, like, yeah, we lost 2 games, shouldn't have lost the games, and we'd have been in. I mean, I just think that's the proper mindset. And I also think it's a peasant's mindset for Joey to be sitting there talking about, it's a peasant's mindset for Joey to be sitting there talking about Notre Dame having some unfair advantage. Like, it's not an unfair advantage, because the reality is that they're having to do more to get to the same outcome. Now, you want to talk about profitability,
Exactly.
you want to talk about, you want to talk about ease of use with your TV deal. Yeah, sure. I mean, there are some things there, but again, they've earned that through finding success and independence. So I guess I just feel like, again, as I said earlier in the week, and as we talked about last week, Texas Tech is wholly focused on the wrong things right now, in my opinion. You want to put out video yesterday about your quarterbacks on the field, and Sorsby leading the group, and we're already seeing the low key pushing of him on the field. And it's like, I'm not letting it go, dude. I will never, and I don't care how long it takes. Every single time he's brought up on the show, I'm gonna ask.
You're jealous. You're jealous of Texas Tech.
The $1 million buyout?
You're jealous.
Have you paid it?
You're scared of Texas Tech, Jake.
And I'm just shaking in my boots of Texas Tech, who got boat raced in the CFP. My God, I'm just so scared of what Joey's doing there, dude.
I love all the Texas Tech fans in the comment section. Oh, you guys are just jealous.
Jealous of, let me ask Tech fan this. Jealous of what precisely?
I have no idea.
What exactly, and this to me has always been the conversation, and this plays right into the Notre Dame thing. What exactly are we jealous of from Tech's season last year?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you won the Big 12. But at the same time, we all agree that the Big 12 is pretty much an ass conference right now. It's not deep. It's a 2-team league. And the team that would have given you fight didn't really have a quarterback last year that was competitive. Didn't really have a team that had the ability to compete with you on the football field.
Yep.
And so you beat them twice, definitively both times, I might add. And you went on to the CFP, and then the first time you face real competition, what happens? So, yeah, cool, dude. Here's your golden sticker. Here's your blue ribbon for winning the Big 12. Go knock yourself out. Man, I can't wait to see the guy who you stole from Cincinnati start for you this year. And it would be, not that I'm hoping for anything bad to happen, but if Will Hammond sees a lot of time this year, that would be very apropos, considering you haven't paid $1 million fine. So, or buyout. I shouldn't call it a fine. It's a buyout.
Buyout.
I think that the whole Texas Tech Notre Dame connection to me is it's just rooted in you're mentally soft. You are mentally soft because you want to focus on everything else around you. You want to focus on TV deals and Notre Dame and just all this noise outside of the program. But what you don't seem to understand is that every other conference got better. You haven't gotten better yet, right? The Big Ten got better. The SEC is getting better. Dude, we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin today. We'll get to the Tower Chiefs logs, and Lane's in them. Trust me, dude. The ACC is getting better. There's no question about it. And I think that ultimately we're going to sit here and watch this football season unfold, and we're going to have the same conversation again. Well, man, TCU is supposed to be a 9-game winner this year. Yeah, but somehow they only found a way to get 8 wins, and that kind of knocked them out of the Big 12 championship picture and obviously the CFP picture. What about K-State? What about Iowa State? Yeah, well, they've got some issues. Well, what about Utah? Yeah, well, great defense, but maybe Dampier got hurt because he's having to run his ass off. It's the same narrative year in and year out. So instead of ripping Notre Dame and saying, oh, well, Notre Dame should join the Big Ten, or do you understand to that point what would happen to the Big 12 if Notre Dame joined the Big Ten? Do you understand like how seismic that would be? You understand that that's another Big Ten team that would get in basically every year. You would have yet another Big Ten team. So you would have Ohio State, likely Michigan under Witt. I've been saying that since Witt took that job. They're going to be back. So you got Ohio State, you got Michigan. Assuming Sig is there, you've got Indiana. You have Oregon. No matter if they win or not, they're typically in it. And then, God forbid, if your boy in LA ever figures it out, You got 5 teams right there that just roll out of the rack and they're in the CFP. And then we're talking about Notre Dame. So I just think that what Joey's not thinking about here, dude, is you're advocating to level the playing field and pool media rights and do all this stuff. That's terrible for Texas Tech. It's
awful
for the Big 12, dude. And he's not thinking about that.
Yeah, I think it's a struggle. And the Notre Dame thing and the bias against Notre Dame, bro, that's been my whole life. And I think it's very interesting that there is, and listen, most Notre Dame fans felt like it was, it's some crime that we didn't get in last year. It wasn't. Notre Dame
was it a
fans,
crime when Florida State didn't get in? I mean, it might as well have been the same thing. You didn't have a quarterback. You lost 2 games.
But how many Notre Dame fans were on this show last year telling me I'm a hater? And, the facts are the facts. You had 2 games you had to win last year. You lost them both. And the other thing Marcus talked about in this interview yesterday was we can't start slow this year.
No.
We can't have a slow week this year. They know they have to go undefeated. And he specifically said in this interview, and again, it's Bussin' with the Boys, and if you haven't seen it, go see it, because it's actually a really good interview. But the thing that Marcus said was, hey, we know what the expectation is. We know that we essentially have to go undefeated and win a national championship. And they asked him specifically, is there anything you wouldn't give to win a national championship? He said, no, nothing. Like outside of the lives of my family, nothing. All I care about. And he talked about how this is the only focus and this is all why we're doing all this. And the only thing we care about is winning a national championship. That interview is the first time where I said to myself, yeah, you got to go all in on Marcus Freeman. Like they asked him about the New York Giant job. And he's like, not now. No. Notre Dame's exactly where I want to be. And he essentially said, I can't imagine not being the football coach here.
Yeah, I just think he's a perfect fit at the college level. It's not to say that he wouldn't have success at the NFL level, but I do think that there are some guys who really are just really good fits at the college level. And he's one of those guys. He's younger. He's got a lot of energy. He relates to his players extremely well, which is very clear from this interview. I think that Marcus is, and this has been a point that we've bandied about with several head coaches in college football, right? My point on Marcus Freeman has always been that it takes time to learn what you have to do to create a national championship caliber program. It takes time. And I think that we're just so quick to be like, yeah, this mistake, that mistake. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy ball busting Marcus as much as the next guy, dude. The 10 guys on the field, all the jokes. Like, I get it, dude. I have no problem with that. The Bavakwa thing, like, great. But if we're really getting down to it, like, he's coming into his here, let me use a corny Notre Dame joke, his golden era, right? He's coming into, hey, I know how to build a championship winner. And I know how to get the culture correct in the offseason to facilitate the expectation that it needs to be an undefeated season, that we need to go out and absolutely just obliterate teams every single week. And I think that that's something that we, that just gets discounted because we're not there. We're not behind the scenes or in the building every day. And I think people forget about that, man. And I think if you look around college football, like, I can make that case about Lane Kiffin. Still, I think you can make that case clearly about Dan Lanning. I think that Dabo's got some questions to answer on that. And I think
did you hear about Oregon? Did you hear about the enrollment problems Oregon's having?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they have they're talking about, and this is, again, I point at Notre Dame for stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oregon is having trouble attracting students. Their in-state enrollment's great. But the biggest issue is like foreign enrollment was a huge part of the income at Oregon. Obviously, that's gone way down. And they're talking about like significant staff layoffs at Oregon in the infrastructure and the facilitating of education. This from a university that's athletic department is running at $148 million profit. And they're talking about layoffs because their tuition's so far down.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame's not talking about that. And I think Oregon is one of the best examples of how all this nonsense going on in the world is impacting the bedrock of sports in this country. Like you look and you may think this is a stretch, but look at the LIV Golf story we're going to talk about here in about 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You think world geopolitical issues aren't impacting them? You look at the foreign exchange rate. You look at the students not enrolling in American universities. Like, we're at a very, very important time in college sports. College athletics has to fund your university. And you look at Cal Berkeley this week with all of their layoffs and the massive cuts that were announced there. You look at Oregon's it's to the point where Oregon's essentially president released a statement to the campus saying, hey, tough times are coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, the issues in the world right now definitely make things more difficult, and I do think that, you know, outside of the world of sports, but still impacting the world of sports, I do think that people are changing priorities. I do. I think that people are not so, like, if you're a foreigner, I don't know that you're so hot to trot to come to the country right now. I just think with the climate and the conversation and just the vibes, like, it's probably not as attractive as it was 15, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. Right. I mean, I think that times change. And I also think that, you know, you're again, and I know that this is a whole, you know, debate we had, but like, I think geographically speaking, you know, take a look around, dude. Like, gas prices are extremely high, rents are high. You know, you obviously the housing market. And so if you're thinking about going to college somewhere, you know, those are all things that I would be taking into consideration. Hey, if I'm going to go to college on the West Coast, you know, where does that kind of put me after I graduate and things like that, given that things are so expensive right now? And yeah, sure, you can make the argument, oh, well, it'll come back down, or it's just a cycle or a chapter or whatever. But the truth is, for a 20-something going to school, like, they don't know what that looks like. They don't know when stuff's going to come back down. So it doesn't really, I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't surprising at all, because it is, obviously. But if you said to me, hey, are you surprised that people are taking a little bit different approach to enrolling and where they're enrolling and what
are you
that
surprised
looks like?
that kids aren't necessarily going to graduate school, which is a big part of the issue at Oregon is their post-grad, hey, I graduated, let me get a master's, is not happening.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you justify the debt. That's the problem. If you're not someone who is able to earn a scholarship, or if you're not someone who is fortunate enough to, you know, get your school paid for through an external source, parents or family or whatever it might be. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that there's a way. There's certainly, in my opinion, not a way for your average Joe, you know, scholar to take on hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt unless they know that that'll get paid back to them inside of 5 years through whatever the profession is. Like, if you're going into the medical field, that's a different conversation. I get it. But I just think that 9 times out of 10, man, like, with the advent of AI and the ability to make money outside of a normal 9 to 5, like, I just think it's changing. And I think that Oregon is as someone who lives in Eugene, Oregon is a lovely, lovely campus. You know, walked all around.
How's the IPF look? How's the IPF look?
You know, the current IPF, honestly, the current IPF is beautiful. I understand the desire to round off the edges and expand that thing and make full use of the footprint. Totally get it. You know, so it's a really nice campus, dude. Everything's new. They trust me, dude. They don't spare a penny on football. Like, literally everything is new. Everything looks amazing. But I'm just telling you, it remains a challenge that I think folks in athletics don't like talking about that you are in Eugene. I mean, again, with all due respect, like it's a serious conversation, man.
I think it is. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. I'm just very interested to see how it all plays out. Let's see. The stadium guy, James, good morning. James is here early today. Is this a good James day or a bad James day? Mike Smith. Hey, Mike. Good to have you back on the show.
Mike Smith.
You think you're allowed to take days off on the show in the comment section?
Yeah, like, who are you, dude? Like, come on, bro.
Did you get a permission slip to do that?
Come on.
Not a golfer, but notice the scrolling Chiron, and that's pretty cool that Monty is teaming up with PXG and offering free fittings. Monty Golf. Get you a free fitting at PXG. Jake got some new wedges yesterday. You excited about your wedges, Jake?
I am very excited. Excited to play them. Definitely need them. I'm trying to remember. Do you remember when we got that fitting? When we got those clubs? I was trying to remember.
2020. I know the exact date. I found the exact date yesterday, in fact.
No, it was not 2020.
I'm pretty sure 2020. He told me it was 2020.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Older than I thought.
Yeah. 6 years old, 5 years old. We've been playing golf full time for a long time now. Like, yeah, I guess if you think. No, it had to be 2021. It couldn't be 2020 because we were still in Phoenix.
At the video. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the video.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in. I'm pretty sure it was in 20. I can't remember. I was talking to Buddy at PXG because they got me a 5-wood.
Mm-hmm.
No, excuse me. It was 2021. Full bag fitting 2021. So, yeah. So that's yeah. Life is good. Right. But yeah, if you want a fitting, a free fitting, go to your PXG fitter, use promo code Monty Golf. Hook it up. Good morning, James and Corey.
Yes.
The Frogfather says.
Yes.
Okay. Is there background music / sound on the Monty Show, or is it just me?
No, it's just you, brother. There's no background music.
I think there is. Is that the former Michigan offensive tackle? Oh, Taylor Lewan. Yes, it is. Another Michigan man, Taylor Lewan. Yeah, seriously. Red wine, what did you say to get filtered?
Oh, God. Here we go.
You're so fucked.
Red wine, and I could be mistaken, and if I am, sorry. Red wine generally is a political dude. So I'm very curious what you said.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
TCU James says Marcus owned his mistakes and didn't blame anyone. Good for him. Okay. If the Big Ten let Notre Dame keep the NBC, what do you mean let? Notre Dame has a contract with NBC. That would be a good fit, Big Ten, because it would get more Big Ten games on TV. Why would Notre Dame do that?
No, he's saying that if they join the conference.
Right, but why would Notre Dame do that?
They wouldn't.
You would never, like that. The NBC deal is a core to their independence because it allows them to make money, but it also allows them to recruit. Right. And you listen to, like, one of the things I thought was interesting about this interview is CJ Carr and Marcus Freeman sat down together and listen to CJ Carr talk about Notre Dame. Just listen to the passion in his voice.
The people, I remember visiting here 3 or 4 times before I committed, and every time I came back, it just felt like more and more like home. And I remember we were driving a golf cart around here, probably my 3rd time visiting, and I started to like call the buildings by their nicknames, like, hey, let's go to the Goog, or let's go to here and here. And at that point, it was like this feels like home. Every person I talk to, students, players, I've never met somebody who doesn't love Notre Dame and doesn't want to be here. Everyone I talk to, Notre Dame's the best place on earth, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So.
Notre Dame is the best place on earth. And if you have never been to the campus, you should just go plan a weekend. I mean, if you're everybody ain't able, but if you're able to get football tickets, go on a football weekend and just tour the campus. It's a remarkable place. It's a remarkable place. Dog fan Jim, UW fan Jim, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Why would Jake be jealous? Does he even have a favorite college team?
No, not particularly.
Jake has no passion for anything.
It's not true. It's not true.
Come on, new wedges, bro. I've never seen Jake get excited about anything. He gets himself some new wedges from PXG yesterday. He's like, yeah, let's do this. We're gone. That's over.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I've said this repeatedly on the show. This is not a new narrative, dude. Life is extremely simpleton right now, dude. It's either working or golfing or chilling. Like, that's it. So, I looked at new wedges last season. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, you're basically using your wedges on almost every hole that you play. I mean, maybe not every hole, but pretty much you miss a green, you're using your wedge.
Marcus says you should have gotten Volkey.
I don't know.
Sugar Daddies from PXG.
I think that, listen, dude, I think that, not to go off on a tangent, but I do think that obviously it's the swing, not the club. And I do agree with golf professional guy who wants to talk about that. You shouldn't really you need to have at least some sort of an established swing before you go just investing thousands of dollars in a bag. Like if I could go back and do it again, I probably would get like a basic starter set, a lower end basic starter set.
You had Strata, bro.
To learn. Yeah, I know, but you start on that and you kind of try to find what it looks like initially. Yeah. And then you work your way into what you need, because the clubs can help you a bit. But I don't believe that, dude. I play with guys all the time that have TaylorMade, that have Titleist, and it's funny how none of them seemingly are better. They're just, oh yeah, I got Volkey. It's cool, man. You're still sculling your wedge over the green, dude. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, that's, yeah. So it doesn't really bother me. And I'm not the guy who's like, oh, you got to spend all that. Like, it's the Pro V conversation. I don't, dude, I bought 40, I bought 2 boxes of noodles, and I think it was like 40 balls total off of Amazon. Dude, the ball absolutely flies. Is it my favorite single ball to play? No, I'm a TP5 guy. I think it's probably the best ball on the market. But
TP5X.
But dude, if you're talking about a budget ball, dude, the noodle or Kirkland is where it's at.
We played this weekend, and my wife was so pissed that I bought a box of noodles for $19 for an entire bot. Like,
yeah, I mean,
for
it's just
a premium golf ball like a Pro V1 or a TP5, it's $57 a box.
Yeah,
give me the noodle, and boy did it fly, right?
Yeah.
FSU went undefeated and won their conference that year. They should have been in. Well, their quarterback got hurt and they didn't have a backup.
Yeah.
Welcome to the nightmare. Notre Dame has to come out of the gate strong and win every game, dude. Hundo P. D-Rock Irish. Players already looking at Miami game in November. Hope they don't trip over themselves in one of their other games.
Oh, no. I don't think that's the mindset at all, actually.
No.
Yeah, it's circled on the calendar, but I think the mindset is more, hey, like, we got to earn the right to go and win that game. Meaning, it's like what Summerall said, right? You got to earn the Gatorhead. You got to earn the right.
I'm sorry, who?
Summerall.
No.
Fathead.
There is no
dapper up eye guy.
How do you replaced Lanning with Summerall and you don't even know his name?
I do know his name. I know.
It's not Springerall.
I want that known.
It's not Springerall, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to get this through your skull, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy's name is Sumrall. How do you not know this about your Earn It, dude?
You gotta earn it.
Like, no, I don't have to earn it. You schmuck.
Yeah.
It's fine. It is what it is. It's.
So wait, were you being serious when you said that bro actually shipped the wedges to Seattle? Did that actually happen?
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, buddy.
Perfect.
Yeah. Not ideal. Not ideal. Yeah, canary in the coal mine. Certainly the Oregon story. Phil Knight needs to donate more money, dude. The athletic department is dominating at Oregon. They're making I think football is $58 million into profitability. Like they netted $58 million. Right? I mean, heard Notre Dame is looking at free tuition, not looking at it's free tuition if your W-2 is 150 or less. It's amazing. Bobby Bagels.
Hey, Bobby.
Nice smear, bro. Morning, Monty and Jake. As I'm sure you know by now, Iowa football got the verdict on the tampering situation. I agree with them being punished. So you think it was too harsh, just right? No, I think Kirk Ferentz is a fraud and should not be the head football coach at Iowa. Kirk Ferentz is another Sonny Dykes. And it's worse. He's really another Mike Gundy. Oh, legend, Monty.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's not. Look at all the games he's won. Yeah, he really hasn't.
How are you an old white hair holding that post and you committed recruiting violations? How does that happen, dude? Like, how?
Yeah,
Don't get it.
Muldoon. People learned you don't need a prestigious college degree to make money. I wish I didn't take on the debt for an AAU education, dude.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, this is my point, dude.
I am so glad Jake and I talked about this when he was ready to go to college. Like, Jake straight up said, I don't want to go to college. It's not for me. Jake at the time was like, I want to smoke weed, drink a ton of liquor,
Nope.
take bath salts, and just snowboard.
We're going back to the freaking moon.
Those were his priorities in life. No, Jake's whole thing was, I have no desire to go to college. I'm done with school. And so he didn't have a plan. So our plan was, well, you're going to go to JUCO and play baseball then. And he did. And he wanted to snowboard. So we snowboarded a lot. And he's worse off for it now. But, I
don't know.
Do you wish you had gone to college on any level?
Not a single regret. Nope.
Okay.
I just think that it's, I just don't, to me, it's not necessary. Does it have some advantages? Is there certain sectors of life that it's required? Yes. Medical profession, legal profession, there are certain professions, if you want to get into them, you're going to need a college education. And I'm all down with that. I don't have a problem with that. But there are too many people who go to college because they don't know what else to do and they haven't had to work a day in their life. And they go to school because they're running from life, only to realize, oh, I stacked on all this debt and I have a degree in combing a sandbox, and that's not going to help me do anything in the actual world. And by the way, I don't even know what the IRS is yet. Like, it's the most foolish thing that you could ever do to your kid is like, go to school and get an education to do what? That's my problem, bro. And
that's what needs to happen, Jake.
That's
what people do.
And listen, I'm all fine to paint the full picture, right? I mean, it's not like it's an easy path, right? Everyone just thinks, oh, well, you're just gonna, you're gonna use Claude to build an AI chatbot and make millions of dollars. Like that's like what the narrative is right now. And yeah, there are ways to make money with AI, but I do think that now more than ever, if I could go back and do it again, I would probably build some kind of home services business. I would probably go back. Like that's probably the route I would take because it's an easy, established, tried and true. Hey, put 10 years into a home service business. You're going to be making a ton of money by the time you're pushing 40. And I just think that's probably the path I would have gone. But, who's to say? Everyone's vision's perfect looking back,
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Right. I will admit Monty's criticism of the Big 12 is right. Ooh. As a TCU fan, I can't just accept 9-3 every year.
Hold on. I can't believe that this is your take now. Dude, you can't Yeah, I mean, dude, hold up here. Monty, let me just retread this real quick.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports.
We're gonna
talk
restart
streaming.
the show
When
real
you
quick.
want unbiased opinions about
Bro, is this actually for real right now? I mean, did you get on the first team all cocaine train this morning?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
You're trolling.
Must be.
You are trolling.
What happened to Jaden Craig? What happened to, oh man, we're going to be amazing.
We just want the bowl game. Pool and Weed Eater Bowl. Me and the wife are going to hop in the Japo shitbox and head for a good weekend at Buc-ee's. I don't believe you. Harder for teams to go undefeated now. Indy was the only one from a P4 to do it. Indiana? It is tough to go undefeated. I will agree with that. No question. Lots of Ford and Stu. Let's not get political. We're already being suppressed for some things.
Need to go down that route, dude.
People learn you don't need a prestigious college degree to make money. I wish I didn't take on. Well, yeah, as we mentioned. James with his fake TCU fandom. It's been on the record.
Well played.
Lots of smaller businesses in West Virginia are closing down because the energy prices are having huge price hikes in the state. Yeah, absolutely. And all these, yes, the data centers.
I'm telling you, dude, there are big differences in life for people who are one generation older than you, 2 generations older than you, versus where it's just big differences. And I think it's really fascinating too. Like when you look at the trends of where people are moving, what they're trying to do.
How different is your life from being a millennial to a Gen Zer?
Oh, it's massively different. I would want nothing to do with being a Gen Zer right now, quite frankly.
Are you kidding me? The skill set you're not born with as a Gen Zer?
Yeah, I mean, imagine having to come up and just figure it out. I mean, that's tough, bro.
Didn't you post something yesterday, Jake, about how millennials are the last generation that will know life without internet, cell phone, or something? You're the last hybrid.
There was a study done. I think the label they used they literally called it Zillennial with a Z. And it's a new label they've put on the group of people born from 92 to 96 inside of the millennial generation that were born before the internet age took over. So they know life without phones and internet, and they know hey, you're out till the street lights come on life. But they also know the internet age with smartphones and tech. And so my group of people inside of that 4-year window or whatever, were like the last group of people to know both. Before that, but before that, obviously, or after that, obviously, Gen Z only knows life with the internet, and that's a really interesting sort of paradigm or dynamic.
Yeah, totally agree. Stadium guy, I'm an Oklahoma State fan. Nightmare, there's nothing fake about my work. Who talked about your work at TCU? Guy, why do you do that? Just embrace.
Because what he's saying is that by calling his fandom fake,
it is fake.
That you're saying he doesn't, because his whole take is, oh, I'm a horny frog fan because I'm getting my MDiv at TCU. That's his take. So by calling his fandom fake, you're inherently saying that his work at TCU is fake, which nobody ever said. But that's
nobody has ever said. It's never personal. Like your work at TCU is fake. Demon, MDiv, bro, stop. And why does anybody care about the date of your next class?
Monty, I'm on an accelerated course here. If I have enough lemon pepper wings from Magic City, I'll be done in July.
Listen, I'm ridding the church of pedophilia. That's what we're doing. We're going to be burning them at the stake May 11th through the 14th. I mean, You know, I mean, you see this shit going on with the Pope? I'm in TCU to prevent that.
Bro, just come to
fucking Pope.
E-Wing. Come to E-Wing, room 4, and we'll be right in there taking care of dudes.
Yeah, check the dorm room. I mean, you don't see any of these priests over there. They know. MDiv buddies here to save the world.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Now, if you are a priest and you bring me some lemon pepper wings, we can at least talk. You know.
Some shit happened.
Magic City.
Now,
That's who I
again,
am.
you bring me wings, but it's ranch, you know, we're going to have a problem.
Jake. It's Wang's place. It's here in Texas. It's Wang's and Bucky's. And yeah, speaking of Bucky's, you dumb son of. Okay, priest MDiv, I gotta regain myself. Okay. Speaking of Bucky's, did you hear 7-Eleven's going out of business? I warned you.
Fuck you.
Well, you know what? That's not nice language, Jake.
Yeah, did you guys hear 7-Eleven's going out of business, essentially?
I did
What are we
not hear
doing?
that.
Not even 30 minutes in and someone's filtered.
Yeah.
That's so.
What
Who got
happened?
filtered? Red wine got filtered. I did not see Red's post that would have gotten filtered. I just saw him posting about ranking top recruiting areas. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't tell me why you got filtered. So.
Yeah, we have to go and dig it up in the studio. And
No,
it's just,
Jake has a favorite college team. He just keeps it close to the vest. See what he did there? Vest.
right, close to the vest, dude.
'Cause
It's
the
just
vest is
another
really
thing
close.
that, you know, we're going to have to. I'm still working on which vest is going to be the new vest.
Shoes, vests, wedges, you know. Oh, Red might have been the one that said Oregon was left coast. He wouldn't get dinged for that. Come on.
Yeah, but I just think if you look at you know, everyone just wants to look at enrollment rates and cost of the school, but it's not just that in the formula, dude. Like it's a totally different conversation if you're going to, you know, if you go to a high-end school and everything else around it's, you know, reasonably cost, like groceries are fine, gas is fine, you know, rent's reasonable. That makes it a lot easier than if rent's through the roof, gas is through the roof, and you can afford to buy like 2 eggs a week, dude. Like that's the problem.
Did you like? And I think you guys saw. Did you guys see this? Like where restaurant inflation is the most? And I know this doesn't fit. I know this doesn't fit the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the price of cheeseburgers, and you start, DoorDash put out a survey the other day.
Oh, this wasn't Jim Harbaugh putting this out?
No. They're cheap in Ann Arbor. He doesn't give a rat's ass. Did you guys see the cost of cheeseburgers?
A tasty burger.
And you begin to understand, as I wait for StreamYard to tell me that I have too many things in the photo tray. Look at this right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the cost of cheeseburgers in our country. The bigger dots, obviously, it's more expensive. Like if you look at Los Angeles, the average cost of a cheeseburger in Los Angeles is $19.70. In San Diego, the big dot, $22.84.
What are we doing?
Anchorage, Alaska, $26.96. Honolulu, $19. Oh, but Monty, Portland's so expensive. $16. Seattle, $15. Spokane, $19. Like there's this belief that somehow the PNW is just stupidly expensive for everything. And I'm telling you, it's not that. It's not as expensive as everybody makes it out to be. Is it cheap to live here? Absolutely, it is not cheap to live here. But this narrative that, oh, everything's expensive and that's why Oregon's going out of business, and it could not be further from the truth. And look, I understand that things are not cheap. Tuition is not cheap. You're looking at, and we should probably have an argument about whether DoorDash on its own or Grubhub is worth the money, because it's not. But you know, see that cheap cheese burger status in West Virginia. West Virginia.
Yeah, I think that here's the problem. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal, Monty.
I think that I don't have a lot of cheeseburgers anymore. That's the problem. So I don't get to experience the alleged savings of what used to be a $5 burger being $15. That's the problem, dude. And I don't disagree with the graphic that, like, I don't disagree generally that, like, Eugene or like the narrative around Portland being just ridiculously expensive. Like, yeah, is Portland more expensive than Eugene? Let's say, sure. Is Seattle more expensive than Portland? Sure. But it all comes down to supply and demand. It comes down to how many people want to live in that area and where you want to live and what you're willing to do in your day to day. And we should not be in a place where just because you wouldn't live in a certain area doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Like, I love when people are like, oh, well, dude, the West Coast is just such a terrible place to live. It's not a terrible place to live. Yes, it's expensive, brother. It is. It has its pros. It does. It's beautiful. Like, you don't really get winter unless you live in the mountains. Like, there are a lot of pros, dude. Yes, there are cons. And unfortunately, right now, those cons are a little bit exacerbated based on what's going on in the world.
Whoa, this is a family show.
I look at it and I say, like, dude, yeah, do I love a burger as much as the next guy? Yes, but here's the problem. I'm also on a GLP-1, so I'm not out getting a burger with fast food anymore. I'm making that burger at home, and I'm making it smaller, and I'm making more of them for the same. Dude, honestly, if I said to you, hey, dude, a burger out is $15, $20 right now, dude, I could probably make like 5 burgers at home for that price. Like, that's the problem, man. And so I don't find myself going out nearly as much.
Enchilada casserole at Costco is $27. My wife made enchilada casserole for meal prep this week.
Yeah.
For like $4.
Right. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, what are we paying for? Why are we paying?
And it was better.
Yeah, it was more enjoyable. Dude, why am I paying for this stuff? Dude, that's my point.
David Persons. Good morning, David. Good to see you, bud. Notre Dame in the catbird seat. Why be a chicken? I totally agree. Notre Dame has created the situation that they're in for the better and for the worse, right? UW fan Jim, I'm such a tech genius with a J that I can't figure out how my name changed from UW fan Jim to dog fan Jim. Because YouTube doesn't like the pseudonyms anymore.
Facial recognition.
The handles. That's why. I don't think Notre Dame has a team from the mighty MAC on the schedule this year, so they might have a chance.
They're not getting NIU this year,
Wait, you mean I could get my PhD at Notre Dame? Oh, God, here we go. Please don't.
Dude, I swear to God.
If you become a Notre Dame fan,
if you blacklist Notre Dame, you may get blacklisted from the comments section. I'm just telling you now.
Ken Maynor. Ho-ho! Florida is going to upset someone this year, either Oklahoma or Ole Miss, both in the swamp.
Okay, can we talk about Buddy real quick? Ole Miss Buddy, Pete Golding. What was this, dude? I mean, bro, I feel like bro is trying to sound like super nerdy head football coach guy, and I just was like, what are we doing?
So Pete Golding goes on the Greg McElroy show, and I'm not going to explain it because you can't explain it. He just said this.
To create the same thing. They're getting the spacing, or they're getting a sprint out flood, or what it is. So I think it's really important going into it that they understand from an offensive standpoint of what's their bread and butter in this situation trying to get to. And then it's much easier from a defensive standpoint. All right, we know they're getting to this, and they're going to run pick flat because it's 3rd and 4 to give them a two-way go, right? And they're going to motion Tony to create it. Well, then we need to roll and be able to play trap, right, so we don't get picked and do it. So if we're in 2x2, right, they run fade out to the boundary, so we want to play bracket to the boundary, but they run double slant to the field, so we want to play cougar, right? So that's inside out, pattern match, safety up over the top. But if they go 3x1, right, then we got to roll to cloud, right? We're going to make the backside, and now we're going to poach 3 because we got a backer on 3 for the 3 vertical. So now when they motion Tony, we're going to go trap them. So we got them in and out and high load, right? We're leaving the backside of legs undressed. It's 4 strong. It's going to be sprint. He's made, right? Now roll to poach, kick the coverage, right? So now we can trap the flat.
Simple, right?
So, I don't know. I don't
know
if,
dude.
I don't quite know
brother,
how to answer that, to be honest.
Why don't you come back to planet Earth now, Pete? and speak English to us peasants who aren't in your system at Ole Miss.
Okay.
You're out of your freaking mind.
This is akin to James being like, hey, how's your MDiv going? Like, just throwing shit out that nobody knows what that means.
Dude, FTR, it's OTR on my MDiv, and,
FFS,
Yeah.
Many people are saying no one wants to work, coach, play in the Pac-12. Could be.
Why would you? This has been
by the way, Demon, Doctorate of Ministry.
Oh, MDiv, Demon, FTR, OTR, FFS,
BT dubs.
Yeah.
I remember when my grandmother got a TV that had a remote. Prior to that, everybody had to get up and switch a knob on the TV to change the channel.
I'm not going to claim to know that life, bro.
Bobby Bagels. Nice schmear, bro.
Oh!
Boys, today is my first day on Zepbound.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll have plenty of questions for you guys in the near future, if that's okay. Drink water, dude.
Drink water.
Drink water.
And don't get overconfident when you don't feel super different on the first dosage level. You won't feel that much different on the first dosage level.
All I can tell you is it works.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't lose weight, you didn't lose weight. And what I mean by that is the Zepbound's going to do its job. It is.
Don't you worry, sir.
It is engineered to make you shit yourself. It's not actually. I've never had that problem. But it is engineered to help you lose weight. But you have to make lifestyle changes. You have to eat less, drink more, be more active. Probably fewer bagels with schmear. James getting his PhD so he can so he can chart at Magic City. Exactly.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Dog Fan Jim. The sad thing is, college used to be more than a trade school. Young people expanded their worldview and learned how to think critically.
Yeah, dude.
Why are you trying to be inflammatory? Don't gaslight me.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're really supposed to sit here and be surprised, when foreign exchange students, as the statement said, aren't as involved, or we're really supposed to be surprised when people go into full, hey, I'm going to set myself up to work from home and keep costs as low as possible until the world kind of changes its tune. Are we really surprised?
Yeah. Yeah. It's housing around here.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Housing is so stupidly expensive in Seattle. Damn, the Orlando area has the biggest circle for burgers in Florida. Well, I wonder why that is. Not like you guys are a tourist trap or anything. Right? Look at that. How much is that? I can tell you. Orlando, $18.46. Tampa, $18.72. South Florida, $17.82. And Port St. Lucie, $18.33.
Pay that man his money.
Even West Virginia. Jesus. A cheeseburger in Pittsburgh is $17. And what's going on in Omaha, Nebraska that a cheeseburger is $20? Tulsa, Oklahoma, $20.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Taxes.
$15 in Texas.
Notice the swath of Montana. You've got the Dakotas. No red dots there, bro.
$2.
Yeah. $1.50.
Right? Crazy. Just Texas State James. Just filled out my PhD application to Notre Dame, our mother. That's right.
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean? Just get it done, bro. Just
Fat
get it
Jay
done.
Chapman. I could eat a burger every meal. Dude, they're
Pack this thing up. We're out of here.
Oh. Favorite burger, go.
Five Guys, not close.
Five Guys, not close. That's right. Five Guys is. Whataburger's close. It's not In-N-Out. We had In-N-Out in LA a couple of weeks ago. Mid. Gruden needs to get Golding on his show. That would be amazing. That must be a Shea burger meal. Exactly. Team Jake, hashtag cheap small home burgers.
Dude, listen, I could talk about it for hours. I think that if you're eating out constantly, if you're just blowing hundreds of dollars a month eating out, like you're just being foolish. I think there's so much value right now in going to Costco, getting it in bigger bulk, freezing it, and just saving the cost, like legitimately. And if you're on Zepbound, you can expand that, right? I mean, you can get, like, Costco sells 3 and 4 packs of ribeye and New York strip. They obviously have chicken. Dude, I cut those in half, and that'll last me like 2 weeks, dude. It isn't even a thing. It's so easy to just save money by doing it that way, dude. Like, Costco sent me the email the other day. Oh, $65 renewal fee. All right, great, dude. More than happy to pay it. Like, it's worth it.
Hundo P. What happened to cheeseburgers for hungry kids? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to imagine that most of the P&W is reasonably priced, but for the more populated areas, no, it's not.
No, it's not, dude. No, it's not.
It's really not. Always going to be higher. No, it's really not reasonably priced. It's rough, dude. Like, it is. Taxes here are, and there's no state income tax, but cost of fuel, cost of food, cost of everything. The parking situation's a racket downtown. Like, but you build all this, and I would not change any. I love living in downtown Seattle. It is a vibe. I love it. Absolutely love it. It'd be nice if yesterday it wasn't 40 and raining. Seattle. And it was not drizzling. It was a downpour all day.
Yeah. What? Certainly you're not surprised by that, though.
No, I'm not surprised because it always rains here, but I'm ready for some warmth in all seriousness. It's all about choices. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Yes. How about Fat Burger in LA? I didn't hate Fat Burger. I've only had it like twice, I think, in my life. I haven't had much. Like, we're going to Vegas. Vegas is not a great food town.
No.
I'm trying to think. Like,
this kind of Vegas trip is the only way that I would do Vegas. I couldn't do it for more than like 2 days, and both days I'd have to be on the course or doing something.
Yeah, playing 2 rounds. Well, probably playing 9 on Friday and then 18 on Saturday. So
yeah.
We'll have to see, reminds me of Eddie Murphy from Raw. Mama says she can only make a better Mama saying she can make a better burger than McDonald's. Eddie Murphy Raw is so underrated. Dude, I'm not eating out. I get my meat discount at Walmart. Attaboy, James. Right? Are these max prices? I can get a good burger for $5 and change in OKC. Do it.
OKC's an underrated town, dude. You look into it. Underrated town, bro. A lot of development happening there.
Shut up, Jake. I could eat a burger every meal. Yes. Read that one. In-N-Out is good value, but not a top burger. It's really not a top burger.
Okay, what does a top burger mean? Like a top rated burger?
Yeah, like one of the best burgers. It's not a great burger. It really isn't. And I'm sitting here trying to think of, I don't eat a lot of burgers at all. Legit, my go-to, if I'm going to get a fast food burger, it's a double cheeseburger at Burger King. They're good. It's Whopper Wednesday, by the way.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just telling you, I feel like it's one of those things where I just don't think the cost of fast food is worth it.
Nope.
I just don't think it's worth it.
It's so much more worth it to have that food in your fridge. Like, it just is.
I would much rather meal prep than go out.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
And again, I think that it needs to be said, like, the GLP-1 dynamic in that is big. Like, once you get up, I had a little bit of a Zepbound experience last night for the first time in a while. Like, you get used to it. You know what you can eat, how much you can eat. Like, you kind of get into the flow with it. Dude, last night, like, I hadn't really had a ton to eat yesterday, and we did homemade tacos last night. And I'm like making this taco, and it's looking good. So, you know, I had meal prep smoked turkey thighs over the weekend, and so I had those in the fridge, and it was looking good. You know, a little lettuce, you know, a little this, little that, whatever. And I'm like eating this taco, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm just not interested in eating this. Like, I'm like, dude, you need to eat this because you haven't really had much to eat today. But I eat it, and I'm like, man, don't really feel full, but not really interested in eating it. And I'm like, there you go. Zepbound showing up doing its thing. Like, that's what you go through, bro. So, like, with eating out, like, I don't eat out as much because I just don't want to waste the money. Like, it's a struggle to finish it, dude.
Yeah, it is. My wife and I talk about that all the time. We eat out more than most people. But you know what the thing is? Like, we have a deli in the bottom of our building that makes a great, like, turkey cranberry sandwich. I'd rather support that small business than a Chipotle. Chipotle is $35 for 2 people.
It's insane. Like,
why? Why would you want to pay that? I can make a better burrito bowl at home.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, my point is, as I cough through my sentence, my point is, I just think it's so expensive. Yeah, I agree. Whataburger is different than it used to be. I love Whataburger.
Most stuff is different than it used to be, though. It's not just Whataburger. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I hear these prices like Big Macs and other burgers that are priced this high. I swear it sounds like fake numbers because we don't have that here. Not saying it's fake, just crazy. It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, you know, reminds me of Raw. Yes. How about Fat Burger? Yes. NFL. Are we getting the repeating comment thing again?
I don't know.
NFL draft a week away. Cannot wait. Monty, you have to try Dick's Drive-In once while you live here. You know, maybe. Yes, small delis are great. When I lived in Chicago,
dude,
I would get an Italian sub once a week from a deli down the street.
Bro, how are you blacklisting the deli on the corner down the street, bro? Like, how?
What if you're getting a sandwich? What are you getting? You're a club sandwich guy?
Jersey Mike's Club. I don't have a deli. I don't have access to a deli, so I don't. There's not. It doesn't.
You had
exist.
A sandwich at that deli in my building.
Oh yeah, the one in your building's phenomenal. That was a damn good sandwich, 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Typically, like, if we're just talking about, like, if I get any, yeah, I'm probably getting a club. I love a good club. Little turkey, little ham. You know, you toast the bread. Like, it's kind of hard to mess that up.
I feel like the biggest fall in quality is Pizza Hut. Man, I haven't thought about going to a Pizza Hut in.
Again, we talked about this, I think it was last month, about what Pizza Hut used to be and, like, the stuffed crust phenomenon, and, like, you'd go in there and the salad bar and, like, the old school games. Like, it used to be a vibe. Like, it used to be the spot.
Not anymore. I always meal prep, and it's not only cheaper but healthier. 100%. We usually do ground turkey. As you know, I'm a big believer in ground turkey on this show. And it's fantastic. You can do 100 different things with it. I'm macking sweet potatoes right now. I would love ground turkey, sweet potatoes, black beans, and pico. That's a whole thing. I love that.
First team all GLP-1 food items would be baked potatoes, regular or sweet. I've had both, and they're both obviously amazing. Yes, taco meat ground. I'm not a huge straight up ground turkey fan, but taco meat ground turkey is one of my favorite things to have.
Yep.
Smoked anything like chicken, thigh, or breast. I did like 3 weeks ago. I really wanted some ribs, so I just did the ribs on the smoker, and I had that all week long. That was amazing. Wings are a hack on GLP-1, dude. If you just do basic ass air fried or smoked wings, and you just make like 30 of those things, and you just have those in like 3 to 5 piece increments, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm a simpleton. I'm a lot more simple than that. I'm just not. I don't eat dinner anymore. When I eat dinner, I'm assuming I'm just eating too many calories. So I don't eat much dinner anymore. My deal is grind all day, go to the range at night, have some grapes. Like right now, I'm unapologetically on a heater with red grapes. But
you got to clarify the formula though, right? They have to be washed, devined, washed, and in the fridge.
Wash them.
Then they're good.
Put them in the fridge, and they're just. I mean, it's sex, dude. Like it is so good. A really cold, firm grape, red seedless grape. Dude, I can't even. The volume of grapes. I'm at the point now where, you know how the bird flu raised the price of eggs? That's what I'm doing to the price of grapes. I've consumed so many that they're more expensive now.
Here I am.
Dude, they're full of fiber, they're full of water, so they help you hydrate. Like,
yeah.
I'm into it. I'm fully into it. Yes. Burgers in the Midwest, Culver's. Culver's is all right.
Yeah, it's very location to location, I feel like.
Yeah. Everyone and their mom out Pizza the Hut.
Yeah, dude. Pizza Hut used to be the thing.
Not anymore. Big Blue Horses. Are there any compelling stories in the NBA playoffs this year?
Yeah. You guys see what happened last night with Amazon? Yeah. So you have the NBA playoffs going on last night. Amazon just decides to turn the feed off for 2 minutes. I believe in the Miami game, I believe it was.
Miami, Charlotte.
Yeah, just kill the feed for 2 minutes with 43 seconds left in the game. No problem. Don't worry about it. Yeah, streaming's the way, Monty. We're going to stream, and that's all going to work perfectly, and Amazon's the best. Yeah, okay. Dude, it's ridiculous, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know how you have that take place during the NBA playoffs, man. As if I already was, not interested, right? As if it was already a challenge for me to want to watch. Then you turn it on and it's like, yep, all right, see you guys later. Like, how?
Well, if only that had happened to the Suns and Devin Booker, who somehow...
I didn't want to bring that up today for you.
Just don't even know how to explain it. Like, don't even know how to explain it. Just end the season. And
they did.
Trade him. No, don't they play another game? I thought they played another game.
I don't know. Let's look. They might as well have. That was embarrassing, dude.
Brutal. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I mean, let's see. Where's the...
It's absolutely horrendous basketball out of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, here's the bracket right here. So, it's just as... I don't even know what you say, dude. Like, how are you that bad, bro? How does that happen? That's what I don't get, dude. Like, how do you lose the game? Number one. But then number two, how do you lose it to a guy that nobody's ever heard of? How do you allow him to get, here, let me be a cool kid, a 40-piece nugget on you? How does that happen? That's what I don't get, man. And I feel like we talk about it every year with Book, dude. One of the purest scorers in the league doesn't know how to win, bro. And it's so frustrating.
I don't get... No.
And then we're going to wonder why we're not interested in the league.
Air fried wings are amazing. I'm not going there. Why no chicken burgers? Not bad.
It's a lot of bread, dude, with the bun. That's the problem.
$14 for a Chipotle burrito bowl is crazy, but I still get it about once a week. Eat at home the other 6 days to afford it. And truth. We don't go to Chipotle very often anymore because it's like we pretty much should be splitting everything.
Yeah.
If we don't split at Chipotle, it's like $35 for 2 burrito bowls. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. It's getting to be that time of year where you can get good fresh tomatoes. Oh, I need cherries to come back. And I eat the hell out of fresh tomatoes. About every dinner I will have some, and it helps fill me up without getting the other stuff as much. Yeah, dude. I am so craving cherries, good tomatoes, good avocados. Dude, you know, John Simpson off the top rope. Texas Tech coach is a clown. And all you think that are lazy, whining haters, there is no need. If others could, they would. Miami, Penn State, West Virginia, and others were all independent and took the money to join a conference. I don't disagree with that. Randy Riding. I'm doing the Costco green grapes. They are fantastic.
Got to talk about it. Red grapes or green grapes in the chat? Which one are you? I'm a red grape guy.
Green grapes are you can't, if you eat too many, it gives you an upset stomach. And then you can't go swimming because you'll get a cramp and die.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'll remember that when your mom was like, 30 minutes after you eat her, you'll cramp up and die.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
Yeah. What are you, a paramedic? That homemade lasagna is amazing, Mom.
Yeah. Why don't you check the trash for the Stouffer's box, brother?
Dick. So Amazon had a Heidi issue. Some old enough will get that reference. Yeah, remember Heidi? I remember Heidi. Angry Phil Fencer. We're coming to Vegas this weekend, Phil. Judgment Day is here. 20-hour workday today, then vacation. Ooh, where are you going on vacation? I like it. Matt Muldoon. LaMelo out here injuring folks. Dude, he hit his head. He doesn't even remember.
Yeah, dude. He blacked out. He didn't try to trip, buddy. I mean, come on.
He tried to trip Bam, and he did.
He did.
And Bam fell right on his
pissed.
butthole. You know, the NBA is painful to watch, but San Antonio is worth your time.
Were you Big Daddy Magic?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Victor's the way.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just struggling to be. I'm struggling to be interested. I got to be honest, man. I was more interested in Mike Trout and Aaron Judge going back and forth the other night in the Bronx.
I'm more interested in why you're trying to intimidate Aaron Judge with a high fastball and then you hang a slider outside that he lands on the moon.
Yeah, dude, you buzzed him twice. He looked at you and then just went nuclear with that home run, dude. Like, that's why you're on the Angels. That's why.
That's why you're on the Angels.
Yeah.
I got into fresh cherries last summer and have been craving them. They're so good. So good. That vacation includes watching 6 Cubs games on the West Coast. You guys may be eliminated from the postseason contention. We actually hit yesterday. The Cubs haven't hit. We're 2 weeks into the season, and the Cubs have not hit. And what happened last night? We hit and scored 10 runs and won the game.
Yeah.
You got to hit the baseball, right? You got to hit the baseball. Matchup throwdown. Well, only James could blacklist the air fryer and bring back deep fat frying. There you go.
That's what I'm saying, dude. How do you mess up an air fryer?
Yeah. I'm excited for the UW spring game Friday, May 1st at 6:30. Jedfish makes it a bit of a fanfare. Go Dogs.
Get a life, man. Come on, man.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope because UW, Washington needs to win. I like Jed.
Hey, Demond, brother, you might want to have a good year this year. Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying. Right. Who needs burgers? Get lemon pepper wings at Magic City. Makes me excited just thinking of it. Man, James just can't. James can't get out of the way.
Magic City and Jaden Craig. You're not living it down, dude.
Purple grapes, then green grapes. You mean red grapes? Okay. I remember when we had a nice sized grapevine area. Could sit out there and eat them off the vine all day. So good. Vacation includes Santa Anita and San Diego.
Nice, dude.
Yes. Wemby, but watch Steph Castle.
He is a very good player, dude. I don't deny it.
Don't talk about Wemby. That will summon BDM, who's been
a ghost.
Kind of quiet lately. off topic, but someone made an AI image with the recent Artemis picture of the moon with a Dollar General on the moon.
We're going back to the freaking moon. That's why.
Did you guys get into the Artemis thing?
I thought it was
did.
cool. I thought it was cool.
I did. All right. Couple other college football things, because then we need to get to this LIV Golf story. Can you win a natty in the portal? Now, you guys know that I love Lane Train. I love Lane Train the way Jake loves Dan Lanning. Now, I don't happen to smoke cigars, so Jake and I are on different levels.
Your third leg was just phenomenal.
But listening to Lane Kiffin talk about the portal never gets old.
That was discouraging in the moment Saturday, offensively. The way that we played, the lack of explosive plays, the lack of plays made in competitive situations. So that's discouraging, not where I would expect to be, but I also have extremely high expectations. Nobody has higher expectations for us as a program than myself. Charlie reminds me that, when we made a decision to sign Sam, that this was going to be part of it, that you weren't going to feel as good in the spring because he wasn't going to be available, so you don't have your quarterback, you don't have arguably your top receiver out there. And so, but there's a lot of work to do there. It doesn't happen overnight. If I told him, you can't think just because you sign the #1 portal class and you come in here that, you're going to national championship. It doesn't work that way, and study time, it doesn't work that way.
You might want to get some of that, Summerall cockneck energy, but he's not wrong. I think a lot of people believe that the portal is where you win national championships, and I just don't think it works that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I'm glad to hear him talking about the fact that because Sam's out, their offense obviously isn't going to look the way it will. I think it's good to hear him talking about that. I think that the portal is for me, it's always been where you get that one guy that kind of finishes off a roster full of dudes that are, from different areas on the recruiting arc. Some guys are going to be freshmen that you've had in the program for 3 years that you've been developing, and this is their year to kind of shine. Other guys are first year in the program, but maybe they're a junior and they need to have a year and to try to get to the league. So everyone's path is different, but I think when you look at LSU, my concern for Lane and LSU is just that they play in the SEC. It's going to be a tough schedule, and the expectations couldn't be higher, dude. And I think that obviously everyone's on the same page that it is a process and it takes time, but bro, when you're making that much money, dude,
I would agree.
There's pressure. And so I hopefully, look, he's got time, right? It's April. Season doesn't start for 5 months or whatever it is. So, I mean, you have time, but this team better be ready to go week 1, man. It better be dialed like as good as it can get. And I believe him when he says his expectations are higher than anyone else's. I do believe that his expectations for his own team will always be higher than anyone else's. Couldn't agree more. Totally with him on that. But I just think that Lane gets it. He understands the expectation, but dude, it's got to be applied on the field, because if it's not, I'm telling you, that is a very, very thin sheet of ice he's walking on.
Not necessarily win through the portal, but not sure you can win without it in today's game. Hundo P.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Jeremiah Champion. I'm getting paid for like 3.5 hours of work today, but only have to work for 1. Love being a substitute.
Well, watching the Monty Show is work for you too, though. You know what I mean? That's part of what you do in the day-to-day.
And you have to pay us.
Yeah,
so.
You pay us to do the show, and that's kind of the thing. So
hit the like button, please.
Yeah.
While you're here. I think James Franklin's face should be punched.
Questions you needed answered from Virginia Tech before you decided to say yes.
Well, first thing, let me say this. When you already got a contract and you don't need a job, you're probably more aggressive in the questions you ask So it's not like I'm trying to get everybody to fall in love with James Franklin and want to hire. I'm asking the tough questions. And if I don't love the answers and the responses, then I'm good. I don't need to take a job, right? Although I wanted to. Virginia Tech had recognized they had not made the commitment to football that they needed to make. And they had already made a decision financially that they're going to invest in football in a way that they had not probably in the last 10 years. So that helped when we got involved in the job, and it's staff salary, it's NIL, it's all these things. And the things that we're asking for are not far off from where they already did their benchmarking. That was helpful.
So you talked about yourself in the third person, and you said, let me say this. I should be able to punch you in the face twice for that. Like, I just don't like him. I don't know why. I can't really explain it other than you're a dick. And I just don't like him. I don't know why. I don't know why he wants. I see James Franklin and I want to knock somebody out. It's a visceral reaction.
Was it the Vanderbilt car situation?
Dude, he's just, I hope they win. Vanderbilt
winning would be good for Virginia Tech winning would be good for college football.
Everywhere he's been, there's been scandal.
Yep. Also been wins.
He has won to a certain level.
Yeah.
You know.
If Vatek is in the CFP, that's a whole different conversation, bro. There will be no. You can't deny Buddy's ability if he gets them into the CFP.
100%. I agree. It's just frustrating to me. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. James Franklin is just not somebody you want to like.
No.
You know how there are people you want to root for? He's not one of them.
No, he's not. And I think that Vatek is a brand that I would root for. The Enter Sandman entrance and just the heritage around that team is awesome. But yeah, he's just, I don't know. I saw this and I was like, arrogant much, like self-effacing much, like, you know, third personing it much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like, can you not just say, yeah, you know, like we had an easy process that, you know, they were already kind of in alignment that they need to spend more. This is where we wanted to be. So that all kind of worked itself out. But man, dude, I wanted to be here because of X, Y, and Z. Like, you had such an opportunity to hype the program and you just didn't. That's what I don't get about dudes, you know, like, you know, you're going to sit down with the great interviewer of our time. Are you not prepared to hype the school and the program? I mean, come on.
I'm surprised they didn't talk about saving college football.
Yeah. I mean, what? Roundtable meetings didn't get brought up in this one? Come on.
Schwinger, how are you? Damn, it's been a while, but how many LBs have you guys shed? Well, not as many. I haven't lost much weight at all. So Jake's lost like 100 pounds.
You're ridiculous, dude.
What? You know, how many pounds have you lost on Zepbound, Jake?
30.
It's good weight loss, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good gig if you can get it, right?
Yeah. Good gig if you can get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zepbound works. When you talk smack and ruffle all the feathers that Lane does, you have a shorter leash. Totally agree.
Yeah, but bro, okay. But bro wins. That's the problem. Like, they're not in the CFP last year if he didn't do what he did. We're all on the same page with that, right? Like, Pete Golding didn't do anything last year. Lane Kiffin did. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be tough for Lane Hader when Lane is in the semifinal or the final, like 2 seasons from now.
If Lane Kiffin takes LSU to the semifinal, that would be football.
Outrageous.
College football's better.
Yeah, it would be outrageous. It would be incredible.
College football's better. Me and my pops stopped in at an Olive Garden. Got there when they first opened. You're in the right place. Within half an hour, some of the employees were excited because they were going to shut down for the day. Why did they shut down for the day? I'm talking about. Jeremiah says he'll cut us a check. I like it. Put it in the mail, bud.
Need more Jeremiah.
Let me say this. UW fan Jim thinks Rome runs all the routes. Yeah, unfortunately, as a Chicago Bear.
Easy. That's well done, dude.
As a Chicago Bear, he's not run all the routes, and he hasn't caught the football.
Dude, this is actually really well done. Let me say this is right out of the James Franklin clip. And then bro went full Rome runs all the routes in reference to his joke many, many months ago now about, well, Monty, don't you know it's Rome Odunze, not Jim Rome? That's well done, dude. Nice job.
Franklin just gives you a bad vibe. Can't stand
Is
the
it
guy.
the glasses?
No, it's his punchable face. You're just a dickweed. Tom says so many coaches are just so ill prepared to talk to the media.
Ow. Joey.
Yeah. Some coaches talk the talk. Some actually walk the walk. Monty at the driving range, all hat and a lot of cattle. Exactly. I'm fat. I don't even deny it.
So how was the 5-wood? You got this new 5-wood.
No, I hit it pretty well. I mean, yeah, it is. It's very interesting, and I can't put a video in, but it's very interesting. I hit that ball really far with that. The ball probably goes too far. And I got a 5-wood because I needed a 235, 250 club, and I'm hitting it like 260, 270.
Might need a 7-wood, bro.
The problem is the 7-wood goes straight up in the air. It's a loft.
That's the point. That's why it only goes 230.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to see how all that plays out, but I really wanted to stop carrying a hybrid, and I might have to keep carrying it. Because if I'm hitting the 4-wood 280, if I'm hitting a 5-wood 250, 260, hitting a hybrid 230, 220, 230, that's probably where I need to be. Just cracking 5 and 6 iron right now. You know what the funny thing is? Most people hit their wedges and short clubs better. I don't.
No.
I don't. My pitching wedge is probably my weakest club. Not probably. It is in all likelihood my weakest club. And it's annoying because it should be. The problem is I swing too long with a pitching wedge. I just need the ball to go 135, 140 yards. I have a longer swing with a pitching wedge, and granted, it probably goes too far. I swing to it. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. Speaking of, ball didn't go in the hoop. Let's talk a little golf because there are reports that LIV Golf is shutting down. And this is a big deal, and we'll see what comes of it. There were some of the golf creators are leaking the news that LIV Golf players and staff didn't get paid this week.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice that obviously you know that Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed have left the tour. You will notice that Phil Mickelson hasn't played on LIV Golf in like 3 weeks, a month now.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm talking about how they were distracted at the Masters with other things happening around them, but can't get into the details. You'll notice that the creators haven't been going to LIV Golf events anymore.
Sergio being pissed off the whole time at the Masters.
Sergio snapping his driver head at the Masters in frustration. And I mean, could you imagine? What would your immediate reaction be if it is true that LIV is going out of business?
All those guys should have to go back to the Corn Ferry Tour for at least a year before they can ever see the PGA Tour again. No mercy. Don't feel bad for you. You're the buffoon that did that. Like, don't care.
And it kind of validates what Tiger and Rory have said.
Yeah.
It kind of validates that this was not going to last. And the sad thing is about LIV Golf. The sad thing is they had it. LIV was in a position where if they had just not tried to be so polar opposite, if they hadn't done the whole, hey, wear whatever you want on the course, shorts, no socks. We're going to play loud music. We're going to have drones flying almost right on top of your golf swing. We're going to have scantily clad women. We're not going to have a TV deal. Like, if you had just worn pants, played 72 holes, and had a cut, you'd have beat the PGA Tour.
Yep.
You'd have beat the PGA Tour. And now you're in a position where if LIV truly goes out of business, guys like Jon Rahm don't have a path back to the PGA Tour. Because you've talked so much junk about how bad the PGA Tour is. And it makes guys like Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed seem much smarter. And I understand it. Phil Mickelson, I don't believe should ever be allowed to play on the PGA Tour again.
Couldn't agree more.
The heinous things that Phil has said and done shouldn't be allowed to play on the PGA Tour again. I just don't know why you would allow that. Because what have we seen now that all these guys went to LIV? We've seen young superstars emerge on the PGA Tour. And I don't mean like the Cam Youngs. I mean the Thegalas, Akshay. These young guys who probably would not have had the opportunity if the DJs, the Rahms, the Gooches of the world had stayed. Cameron Smith can't make a cut. I think he's 0 for his last 6 majors on the PGA Tour. Has missed 6 straight PGA Tour major cuts. An absolute disaster for LIV Golf at the Masters. If Tyrrell Hatton doesn't make a push, it's an absolute disaster. But what did, and I can't believe I'm going to even say this, what did Patrick Reed teach us? Eat your humble pie. Go to the DP World Tour, pay your fines, and earn your way back to the PGA Tour. And that's what a guy like John flipping Rahm is going to have to go back to the DP World Tour. He's going to have to go through. They're talking about potentially having a guy like a Dustin Johnson, a Bryson DeChambeau. They're going to have to go through Q school.
As they should.
To get a PGA Tour card.
Good, dude. You humiliated yourself. You said money over reputation and character. Can't do that in life, dude. Doesn't work that way.
Can you? I can't even.
You don't get to like you don't get to be like, oh yeah, like man, I just want to play leisure golf now and you know, like I just want to wear shorts out there and it's no big deal and non-golfer bro is like, why does it matter? Because dude, what you don't understand is that playing a PGA Tour event means, hey, we're dressing a certain way, we're playing a certain level of golf, or there's a cut, like there's money on the line. Like, do you understand that for a new to the tour player, how much pressure there is just to make cuts? Just make money that weekend. You don't have to win. You don't have to be top 10. Just like, I don't know if we still have it, but like the last place finisher at the Masters who made the cut, you know, for the weekend, made like $50K. Like you still get paid great money if you can simply make the cut.
Yes.
And I don't think we're all so focused on Scotty and Rory and the greats of the game. The true grind and true battle on the tour is those guys who are 3 over after Thursday's round and need to get to 4 under on Friday to make the cut. That's what you don't understand about Scotty's greatness and Rory's greatness. They're making it harder for Buddy, the new golfer on tour, to make a living. But if that person can break through, if that person can make the pressure shots and make the putts and find their way, they're going to be a great golfer. And that's what the tour is about. And that's what LIV was never about. So Jon Rahm can take his LIV black jacket and take his ass overseas to the DP World Tour, or he can take his ass back through Q School, because I don't feel sorry for you, dude. Don't talk to me about bad conditions at the Masters. Don't talk to me about excuses, or the fact is you haven't been the same guy. You were pushing Rory to be the number one golfer in the world before Scotty showed up. And then you and Scotty went back and forth for a minute while Rory was trying to figure it out at Augusta. And then you went to LIV and you disappeared. That's it. You're done. It's over. Like, you made that decision. Like, what happened to best for my family? It's best for this, best for that. Well, it turns out you made a mistake.
Yeah.
So I agree. Go do what Pat did. I don't like Patrick Reed. I don't like his shtick. I don't like his attitude, but give the guy credit. You disappeared. You realized you made a mistake, and you paid the fine, went and beat all, dude. He dominated bros on the DP World Tour. He went and owned those guys for like a month straight, and then found his way back, and then did well at the Masters. So I don't have any mercy for these dudes.
When you have to earn your way through your play, yeah. It's just, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, man, Michigan, the karma. New University of Michigan president, Kent Severud, diagnosed with brain cancer that, quote, will prevent me from serving as a 16th president at the University of Michigan. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. Oh, so sorry to hear that. Man, Michigan, the karma. Oh, that's really tough. Good Lord. I think it's very interesting that, look at the politics in the world. Like the oil money thing that has funded, and the murder money, as people call it, I see in the comment sections, or you look at the Saudi investment fund, clearly that money's not endless. And you look at how much money they have lost. Ooh, dude, it's brutal.
Yep.
It is brutal. Will golf ever recover? Do you see a day where the Rahms, the DJs, the DeChambos, they're just playing every week PGA Tour golf, where they have to actually earn a paycheck instead of guaranteed money?
I could see a path back for DJ. I think that he's very likable. I think that he was in that group of guys that, because that's my opinion on the whole tour thing. I think it's personal. I think that, yeah, is there a structure in place? Sure. For like, who can come back and who can and what all that looks like. Yeah, there is. But the reality is the group, including Tiger, that decides who's able to come back and who's not, could just wake up one day and say, yeah, bring all those guys back. They're reinstated. Like, they could do that. That's within their power. But they're not going to do that for just anybody on premise alone. But that's why you see, like, Brooks was able to get back. Patrick Reed was able to get back. I do maintain that, like, Dustin Johnson would have a path back at some point, because he's likable. He's in the Justin Thomas group of guys. Like, I think that they would probably figure it out for him.
Wife's hot.
Yeah. I just don't think that, like, Jon Rahm, you're not that likable, dude. Like, Cam Smith, you're not that likable, man. Like, Sergio certainly is not very likable. Phil, like, you were great on the tour and you took money because of your gambling problem, and we're supposed to feel bad for you. Like, you're not, like, that's just not, it's not what it is, man. We're not going to make exceptions for you guys. And
I hope it's not true. And I hope that they do get paid. And I hope that I have a hard time believing that the PIF would just stop paying people. Because you remember, they're in Mexico City this week. Mm-hmm. And if that event wasn't going to happen, you'd already have known about it. Today's Wednesday, that they play their pro-ams on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I have to believe you would have known about it. My guess is there may be an announcement that this is the final season of LIV Golf. I could see that. Because I don't think that you can. I mean, are you just going to burn the cash that you laid out to plan these upcoming events? I have a hard time believing that.
Same.
Like, my guess is it's somewhere in the middle. I'm going to guess that Everybody around LIV Golf got paid because it's not like the PIF is out of money. I'm going to guess that if it's going out of business, they're not just going to instantly shut it down. I think this is probably going to be the last season for LIV Golf. And you're going to have to figure it out after that. And I'm really curious to see when that announcement is made. Very curious to see when that announcement's made and how you make it. That's the thing that's what I want to know. I think it is very bad for golf. I think it is very bad for golf. I think this division, the team concept was never going to work. That's just not what the DNA of golf will ever be. That's why we have the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup. Doing it week in and week out makes no sense.
Nope. But that's the international view. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem, is that you basically try to, in my opinion, apply an F1 structure to that tour where you've got individuals, but you've also got the team. And I just don't think that works in golf. I think that golf is golf is the only game in the world where it's you in your mind, and that's it. It's
you versus your golf ball, man.
Nobody else matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else does. If you're playing your best golf, typically that's going to be better than everyone else. The problem is it's very hard to do that. And
I would agree.
And I think that LIV just tried to get cute. And I have been against it since day one. 100% adamant that it's improper. These guys look incredibly foolish. It was a mistake to do that. I understand at one point they were offering certain individuals $1 billion. Listen, man, I get that. But
Rory and Tiger.
You will never escape the fact, though, that these names that went to LIV already had enough money to never worry about money again.
And they're invisible now. Dustin Johnson, nobody thinks about you.
Yeah.
Cameron Smith, nobody thinks about you.
Nope.
Right? Like it.
And it's a shame because DJ was one of the most likable guys on tour. That's the problem. Is that Dustin Johnson was actually really likable, a really good dude. You know, him, JT, Brooks, all kind of being in that group together was an awesome dynamic. And that just sort of died off. And I agree that LIV and those guys going there opened up the tour for other younger golfers to come in and flourish. And they have. But I just don't think that, like, it was a big concern with Brooks coming back that he was going to take the spot of other dudes. And that's what I think is difficult. That's why they have to go through Q Score. They have to go through the DP World Tour. They have to earn their way back. So there's no dynamic of, hey, we brought these guys back and they just get a free pass. And I also think that the other thing that no one's talking about is, what is the tour going to do to make this right for guys who didn't leave and didn't take the money? That to me is the bigger thing. What kind of financial penalty are you levying against? In my opinion, it should be a percentage. Like, if you made $700 million with LIV through your signing bonus or whatever, there should be, hey, like, you can come back and play on the tour provided you earn your way back, but a percentage of your winnings are going into a player's pool that's paid back to these guys for however long, to a certain amount or whatever. Like, there's got to be something like that makes it right.
I don't know what you do, because it's guys like Cam Smith, guys like, I mean, who's ever thought of Bubba Watson?
Yeah,
When's
but
the last time you thought about Bubba Watson?
Dude, Bubba is infamous at the Masters for that win. Like, that win, the shot from the trees, he is infamous. Like, he is, that was an all-time Masters, dude.
Yeah.
And now nobody thinks about you because you went to, like, I just can't believe these dudes did this.
Guy like Dean Burmester, fantastic golfer that nobody ever thinks about anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thinks about Brandon Grace, who's one of the highest paid guys on LIV Golf ever. Nobody ever thinks about that. And you look at the guys like Joaquin Niemann. Joaquin Niemann is one of the best players in the world. Nobody thinks about him. Nobody thinks about him. And the sad story is it is somebody like oh my God, his name just went out of my head. The golfer who just won on LIV Golf, the Asian guy.
Oh, Anthony Kim.
Anthony Kim. Anthony Kim, that's a guy that you're like, dude, if you think about Anthony Kim, does Anthony Kim have a route back to the PGA Tour?
Again, case by case.
Thomas Dietrich, does Thomas Dietrich have a route back to the PGA Tour? Well, I mean, I would like to think so. Martin Keimer has won on the PGA Tour, and you're telling me you're not going to allow him back. I think they are going to have to play for free, essentially.
Corn Ferry Tour. You're going out. You're playing a lesser tour to earn your way back.
I don't think the Corn Ferry Tour is a realistic option, though.
Why?
Right? Like, because that is a young man's tour. That is the tour that's like developmental. The DP World Tour is where they should go. And they should have to earn their way back. And I don't know that they'll be able to do that. But it is the PGA Tour essentially in Europe. You're going to have to play your way back through one of those feeder tours. Mm-hmm. And Brooks, you look again, the cheater guy. What is wrong with my brain?
Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed has earned his way back through the DP World Tour because he's gone out there and he's dominated.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult to just sit here and say, yeah, you can come back. Come on back. Is it going to be?
They don't need you. That's the problem.
Is it going to be hundreds of millions of dollars? Like how much are the charitable donations going to be?
Yes. It should be in the hundreds of millions. Yes.
Do you even want Jon Rahm back on the PGA Tour?
I don't.
Well, you want him. Oh, I think he is. Dude, Jon Rahm's not a bad guy. He has just handled himself very poorly here. Very poorly. And at least I can respect somebody like Dustin Johnson saying, well, I took the money because I have to work less and make twice as much money as I was making. Yes, sign me up. Brooks Koepka saying, I had no idea if I was going to physically be able to play golf anymore. I took a guaranteed payday. Right? Made whatever it was, $100 million. But you knew that the LIV Golf Tour was in trouble because what were they doing? They stopped paying for people's travel. You have to now pay your own because LIV Golf was chartering private jets for all the teams to fly around the world. No more of that. No more guaranteed paydays. Right? That's when, and now all of a sudden, because remember, they never got world golf ranking points.
Right. How could they?
Now you're going to have to add cuts and you're going to have to play, you're going to have to play 72 holes. Jon Rahm got pissed off about that. That's not what we signed up for. Well, you can't have it both ways. That's the issue that these guys don't want to talk about.
That's why I have trouble with John, because I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but what I am saying is he's not one of the best golfers in the world right now. You can't say that factually.
No, he's not playing the best golf in the world. Jon Rahm historically has been one of the best golfers in the world. The problem is when you go to LIV Golf, you don't have that every week tension. You don't have listen to Jake Knapp talking about qualifying for the Masters, and essentially Jake Knapp is defending Rory McIlroy, because you guys have heard about this Rory McIlroy thing where they said he cheated because he went up to the Masters in Augusta and played practice rounds. But listen to Jake Knapp talk about trying to earn your way into a place like the Masters.
I don't think it's an unfair advantage. I mean, he earned that right by winning. And I didn't get to play before because I wasn't officially in until after Houston. So I didn't get in until the top 50 in the world cutoff after Houston. So I technically could have gone. Since I skipped Valero, I could have gone a little bit early, but anybody who's played in it before knows that golf course on Thursday is the first time that you really get to see Augusta.
And what it means. Rory McIlroy skipped 3 straight tournaments to prepare to win the Masters. Well, Jon Rahm and the LIV Golf guys can't do that because they have obligations and they've been paid already. And so you show up at the Masters not ready to compete. You show up at the Masters without having played any leverage golf. Yet Patrick Reed goes to the DP World Tour trying to find his way back to the PGA Tour, having to compete and win where every stroke matters. And what do you know? He finished in the top 10 or whatever it was. Tyrrell Hatton is the only LIV Golf guy that actually played well. John Rahm was embarrassingly bad at times. So I don't know. I think it's really bad for golf that the LIV Tour is folding, but it needs to happen because we need resolution. And everybody that was ripping Rory and Tiger and all of the PGA Tour guys for saying, hey, this merger isn't happening for this reason. And well, now you know why. Because I think the LIV Golf people thought that the PGA Tour would fold, go away. Well, all LIV Golf did was make purses larger, and it showed that the best golf in the world is played on the PGA Tour,
without a doubt. It's just not in dispute, man.
Joey B, the real AD. Okay. Patrick Reed, love him or hate him, he played his way back. He did play his way back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, respect.
If they work their way back and prove they want it, XTP World Tour, then yes, let them back in. But they have to pay a price. Anthony Kim to the Corn Ferry Tour. I don't know. I don't know that he has a place on the PGA Tour. I don't know that he has a place.
Look, if LIV shuts down, the PGA Tour, I would guess, will put out a path back structure. I would be surprised if they didn't. In all reality, I think that it's good for the game to watch these guys have to grind to get back on tour. Let's be real, right? Like that's the dark backroom secret, right? Watching these dudes have to struggle to get back on tour is going to be good for the tour. That's going to show the quality of the tour. And I think that, sure, will John get back? Probably, but I don't know. Maybe. And if LIV doesn't fold and this is just some kind of petty announcement, then I guess we're just back in the same spot. But I do hope it folds. I do hope we get consolidation back again.
I do hope it folds.
I do. I don't even think it's a hot take to say it. I hope it folds. I think it was started in a way that had bad intentions, and you're getting that karma back.
They cut people's heads off, bro.
Yeah. So you took the money from doing that. You started a tour to try to remove players and poach players. And then now we're supposed to feel bad for the guys that went and took that money. I don't feel bad for you. You made a decision. Is anyone feeling bad for me? Not a chance. So I'm not feeling bad for you. You guys are going to have to lie in the bed you made. And I agree, making you grind to get back on tour is exactly what you're due. And I hope it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Golf will be fine. People who want it will go to the DP World and earn their spot back. We'll see. Do you guys understand that there are massive, I think John Rahm owes like $20 million in fines or something. Rahm DP World Tour fines. $3 million. John Rahm has withdrawn his appeal against a DP World Tour for fines exceeding $3 million, accrued from playing in conflicting LIV Golf events. So the problem for Rombo is if he does not pay that fine, he will not be allowed to play in the Ryder Cup. So he's going to wind up paying it now, because if LIV is folding, I don't even know what you do.
You don't
there.
have a choice.
Yeah. I agree. Golf is too popular and a sport you see more young people gravitating to. So, yeah, golf will be fine.
Yep.
Tons of young people playing golf. LIV to San Marcos. Okay. What now? Hope the Magic City Seaman Demon has a take on LIV golf news. Catching strays. Jake has been consistent on LIV the entire time.
Yep.
Well, I don't know that anybody here has supported LIV. I just think they had a real chance to succeed, man. That's, I feel like, the best way to say it. And their gimmicks got in the way.
Yeah. I've always said I think it was a bad idea. I think it was started for the wrong reasons. And I'm good with a conversation around, hey, you want to launch another tour in partnership with the PGA Tour? That's the right way to do it, because there's already a profitable, productive structure in place for the money, for the players, for the world golf rankings. It all works together nicely. But if you want to start another tour, that's great. But you would be foolish to start another tour that competes with the PGA Tour. That's not smart, dude. And
the chances of success were always really low, but they had a chance.
There was a window. But,
absolutely.
But I agree with you. The gimmick of wearing shorts and playing music and having a party environment, dude. This is my point. It's not F1, bro. You're not in Abu Dhabi or like in these crazy places. Like, you're on a golf course, not a racetrack. It's a different environment.
Yeah.
Like, and call me a golf snob. Okay. There's nothing I enjoy more than going out on a golf course, hearing the birds chirping, hearing the wind blowing, being in the sun. It's truly one of the best parts of the sport. I don't need drunk guy off his ass, chirping me while I'm trying to hit a tee shot. That to me is not the sport. And I feel like that was what the international view with LIV was like. Hey, we want to do this whole opposite thing. And it just doesn't, it's not the nature of the sport, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's a big story to watch for sure. Uppity Texas Tech fan. Texas Tech just landed another 5-star defensive end from Maryland. Tell me how they are focused on the wrong things. Who said they're focused on the wrong things in football? What I said was Cody Campbell and Joey McGuire should stop running their mouth and focus on football, because you look like a fool.
Yeah.
Trying to destabilize the Big 12 is absolutely the wrong path of action. It's the wrong path of action. Why are you? It has nothing to do with anything on the field. It has nothing to do with recruiting or portaling. And I think this is what Texas Tech fan doesn't want to embrace. You're good, but you're not great. And you can keep talking about portal guy, or I'm just telling you now, you better win the conference, and you better go back to the college football playoff, and you better win a playoff game. Because your efforts to not play on Friday night make you look incredibly weak. Friday Night Lights to, our brand is in demand. Everybody plays on Friday nights. Your brand's not somehow more in demand. It's just all the talking. It's Cody Campbell, like his ridiculous, tweet about how everything runs through Lubbock. Yeah, actually, it doesn't. Turns out that was not the case.
And by the way, where have you been? I haven't heard from you in a week now. Like, you were all out in front, wanted to run your mouth, wanted to say everything goes through Lubbock when you were in it. And turns out, hey, yeah, Fox does have control. We will be playing on Friday nights. And now I haven't heard from you, and now you look soft. So, cool. You got a 5-star defensive end from Maryland. Great. Knock yourself out, dude. Last time I checked, 5-star defensive ends in the portal don't necessarily mean you're going to win a CFP game. Let's see what it looks like on the field, dude. And again, I would also point out that, yeah, sure, you won the Big 12 for 1 year. That's great. How about we do it for 3 out of the next 5 or 5 out of the next 7, and you win a CFP game and you actually represent the league in a good faith way. Instead, you're talking about Notre Dame. You're talking about TV deals. You're talking about everything else instead of just being quiet and focusing on the team. And that's my problem with Texas Tech.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I just don't.
And I'd like to point out too, just while I'm getting after you here, next time you want to come in here and talk to us about Texas Tech, you might want to do it after you've scored a point in the college football playoff. Just want to point that out. Okay. So just so we're on the same page.
Yeah, I don't know. Texas Tech's an incredibly important piece of the Big 12, and I just feel like this has not been a good couple of weeks. Texas Tech is doing a fine job on the field. It's Cody and company running their gobs that is making them the fools of the Big 12 in the public's perception. All they need to do is play and shut it. That's right.
Yeah. Why be a villain, dude? Why be a villain in a conference that needs a hero?
Why make yourself the villain?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Why make yourself the villain? That's what I don't understand. Roche, when Tech can score a point against Oregon, people might care when they talk. Exactly.
I mean, I'm not trying to be an a-hole here, but you don't have a leg to stand on, Tech fan. Like you have no way to justify this nonsense around Friday nights. Joey has no way to justify talking about Notre Dame. You're not even in the same atmosphere as Notre Dame. I don't want to hear comparisons about Notre Dame or that you're not Notre Dame. Let's be really clear. Notre Dame would go undefeated in the Big 12. Notre Dame would beat you the way you beat BYU. And Notre Dame is a national championship contender. Like, those are the facts of the case, not my opinion. That's what we've seen on the football field.
No question.
So I just can't. We do this every year. Last year it was K-State fan. Oh, we're going to run the Big 12. We're the best. We've got Goldilocks. We're going to be amazing. How did that work out for you? Like, every year we've got a school doing this. And then there's BYU who doesn't talk. They don't say anything. And they just go out and try to get better every year. And have they made it yet? No. But I would much rather be in BYU shoes than Texas Tech shoes. I can tell you that definitively.
I would agree. Like, who do you think is the best program in the Big 12? I think top to bottom, it's BYU. With basketball and football, and now, again, I know I don't have sources and I don't know anything. Looks like Rob Wright's coming back to BYU.
What?
We'll see if that actually happens and if we put pen to paper and all that. But looks like Robert Wright's coming back to BYU. Like, they're doing a lot of things right. And I think that when you look at who the best teams in who the best athletic programs in this conference are, obviously Texas Tech is top 5, but you got to win now. Notre Dame would go undefeated in the Big 12. Northern Illinois has something to say about that. It's a one-off game, though. Like, it's a one-off. Losing to Northern, are you telling me that Appy State will go undefeated in the Big 10 because they beat Michigan? Like, there's always going to be one-off games. The problem for the Big 12 is you don't have a dominant brand. You don't have somebody that's a national championship contender in either sport right now, because the NCAA tournament, I think, was a huge disappointment. Arizona was a huge disappointment in this tournament. I feel like the Big 12 did not have a good NCAA tournament. And I think you have a lot of proving ground to do. I think you have a lot of proving to do. So maybe I'm being too harsh. Absolutely could be. But you listen to Kelvin Sampson at Houston talk about how the end is near, and
yeah,
we'll see. Guys. Texas Tech just over here talking so much, yet can only say, but Monty, we won in 2025. One conference championship. Texas Tech's back. Okay. Not a fan of baseball, especially college baseball, but it seems like West Virginia has started to field a quality team, and they basically started when they joined the Big 12.
I actually really like the College Baseball World Series. That tournament is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. How's BYU better than Texas Tech when their basketball team from Tech is better? The football team Texas Tech is better. Okay. When you look at the totality of recruiting, portaling, on the field, is Texas Tech football better than BYU? Yeah. Scoreboard. I don't think there's any question about that. The problem is the business of college sports is better in Provo than it is in Lubbock. Because you quite literally are standing on Cody Campbell's wallet. That's what's keeping you relevant. That's the only thing keeping you relevant. And for me, I think it's very difficult to make the argument that you're elite at Texas Tech when you've never been to the top of the mountain. You've never been the best team in the entire country pretty much for more than a moment here or a moment there in softball last year, or you need to do this over a long period of time, then you can talk. But should you be talking about blowing up the conference? Should you be talking about blowing up, like blowing up the entirety of the college football TV deal?
I respect and totally, I'm a traditionalist in a lot of ways, but man, I don't want a 25-day layoff in the most important game that I could play in my entire life.
Couldn't agree more.
And so the reason we don't is because we're still doing the stuff that we've always done. We're not fixing anything. We're not fixing, like, for me, if you disagree that there should be 24 teams in the playoff, you're right. But that's the only way it's going to blow up, because then they have to fix it. Like if you go 16, TV's like, hey, we've got that built in. You go 24, it doesn't. And until we blow it up from the TV perspective and reshuffle this whole thing, we're going to have Signetti's the only dude that's been able to do it in 2 years. And he won it all. He's the only guy that's figured out how to have a 25-day layoff and still win that game.
So you want an easier path?
Excuses, bro. That's it.
You know,
like again, play the Marcus fight again. Like this is so definitive. I can't even believe we have to argue this. This is ridiculous. Like, dude, you've got your head coach talking about the schedule and the 25 days off, and oh man, it's just so difficult. And Signetti is the Jesus Christ of college football. He's the only one that's ever been able to do it. And then you've got Marcus Freeman here saying, yeah, should have won 2 more ball games and we'd have been in.
I think there's advantages to being in a conference and there's advantages not being in a conference. There's a lot of positive things that, trust me, that nobody was complaining about when we made the playoffs the year before, right? And the independence, we look at it as a positive, right? And if there's, listen, we lost 2 games and didn't make playoffs. And so if our administration ever feels like we are truly at a competitive disadvantage by not being in a conference, I'm sure that we'll join a conference. But we shouldn't have lost 2 games.
It's a great answer.
As simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
It's not hard to understand. Like, dude, this is not rocket science, man. My God. Like, you
win
like
more
Tex
games.
Fan, dude, Tech fan, the thirst to be relevant couldn't be more clear. You are so desperate to be the face of the league and to be nationally relevant. Do you understand? Just last thing I'll say. Do you understand that nobody fears you, right? Like you against any nationally, competitive team, you're not feared. You would be the underdog against Oregon. You'd be the underdog against Ohio State and Ole Miss and LSU.
And I just don't understand the Texas Tech fan who's like, you guys are jealous.
Of what?
Like what would anybody be jealous of? I don't understand. I just want Texas Tech. You've won nothing. You've accomplished nothing. Have that attitude and you'll be so much better off than, well, we got to blow up the college football playoff so that we have an easier path.
And Notre Dame has an unfair advantage. Come on, dude.
It's just such a bad narrative. It's such a bad narrative. right? I mean, yeah.
Come on, dude.
Texas Tech pretending they've been here for years. BYU has been good, but even them haven't done anything since 84. I just don't think you've won enough.
Is this not the same energy as like San Diego State and the pro rata we deserve? Is this not the same energy as
pretty close?
Like, is it like it has to be? Like, hey, we're because we say we're the best doesn't actually mean we're the best. Like, it's the same thing, man. Like I just we've seen this before and we'll see it again. Come back to me after you've beat someone in the CFP. That's worthwhile. And again, as we said about Oregon, because that keeps coming up today because you guys got shut out by them. If you beat JMU in the playoffs, it doesn't count anymore.
Yeah.
Beat somebody who's equal to you or better, and then people will give you credibility. And that's just what it is, dude. It's the conundrum for Texas and Arizona State, and it's also the conundrum for Oregon and Texas Tech, dude. And I'm just at a point, like, we've been doing this show long enough in different forms and fashion where we've been down this conversation before with like a number of different things, whether it is the NBA or the NFL or college football. And I'm just at a point where it's like, you either are relevant or you're not. There is no wanting to be relevant. There is no like, oh man, we did this, so that justifies us being here. Like, it doesn't work that way. You either are the guy or you're not the guy. It's just a very like line in the sand, black and white topic. And Notre Dame is that dude. Texas Tech is not that dude right now. The ACC or the Big Ten and the SEC are that guy. The ACC and the Big 12 are not. And Tech can change that, but this mentality will not get them there.
Totally agree. Ken Maynor. Texas Tech would lose 4 of 5 games in the ACC if Miami, FSU, Clemson, SMU, Louisville, and VOD Tech all were on their game.
I don't disagree that's you're losing to Miami. I think currently Florida State you're probably beating. Clemson, I think it'd be a close game.
But wait, Texas Tech's a really good football program. Let's not conflate the two problems here. Texas Tech is not a poor football program. Brendan Sorsby, who still owes Cincinnati $1 million, is a really good quarterback and a significant upgrade to what they've had in Baron Morton. That's not the issue. The issue is Cody Campbell thinks because he's rich, he should be able to call his own shot. Joey McGuire thinks because Cody Campbell's rich, they should have an easy path to winning a national championship. That's the issue. You talk like this is all you've ever done, win natties, and you know everything. You've literally won nothing, ConXbox. You've won nothing. But you want to act like you've won everything. And it's just not, Anyway. Who are you going in the right direction? Big 12 schools after Texas Tech and BYU? Well, if you asked me who I thought in this conference was going in the right direction, I can't say that. Well, you just look at the top of the table last year.
Arizona's going in the right direction. Houston's going in the right direction.
Hold on. Texas Tech and BYU were 1 and 2. Clearly, I think they're going in the right direction. Utah, I don't think you can say that. Utah finished 3rd last year. I don't think you can say they're going in the right direction. Houston and Arizona, absolutely. Arizona State, I don't think you can say that. Iowa State, certainly not. Kansas State, with Colin Klein, and that's a wait and see. I don't think they're backsliding. I think they're moving. They're at least moving forward or stable. TCU going in the wrong direction. Cincinnati, wrong direction. Baylor, Kansas, UCF, West Virginia. This is the year Rich Rod's got to show significant improvement. You can't be 2-7 again. That's just not going to get it done. You can't be 2-7. Colorado can't say that, and Oak State can't say that. I think there are a handful of teams going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be it. But maybe I'm being too harsh. I'm a homer, but I think West Virginia is going in the right direction. ASU with dilly as well. I think Rich Rod and Kenny are good coaches. Kenny Dillingham's got to prove that he belongs amongst the elites in the Big 12. Does the reputation of Kenny Dillingham meet the results on the field?
Oh, I mean, he early results. Yes, I would say last year obviously wasn't a good year. I think that's just pretty clear. I think, I'm a Kenny guy, have been, not new. I think the problem for Kenny is that he, again, this is what I said about Marcus, and I'll keep saying about Dan Lanning and these other guys. These guys have to learn the process of attrition. Hey, correct. Sam Levitt gets in the portal, goes to LSU. Okay, great. You lost your number one. All right, cool. What do you have behind him? What did you have behind Scat? Like, that's what we're seeing. And I think that's the problem. So the other day when we played that red assery out of Kenny talking about how, hey, we did basically nothing good in practice today in this scrimmage we had. And like, there were no explosive plays and basically ripping his team. Like, I do think he's a really quality coach, but it is a results-driven business. And
yes, it is.
And it is a what have you done for me lately business. And so, Kenny, I agree, has to show now that he can rebuild and he can build a pipeline of players so that he doesn't have to go through this again, in 3 seasons. And so, yeah, he does have to do that. But I think when you look at the elites in the Big 12, Kalani, I think, is definitely an elite in the Big 12. I think that he's shown an ability to build a program, especially with the honor code situation and just managing the personalities. If you think about the last contract negotiation, all the stuff that was said about, hey, like there's a lot of noise and I don't necessarily like the AD, so we're going to add some layers into that. And like he did a lot of managing in that way that will help him. And I think that's part of being an elite coach. I also think the ability to handle drama inside your program with the players is also something Kalani's done a great job of, given the Retzloff stuff, the Kingston stuff, Drew Wakely before them. Like, there's been some stuff, but they've dealt with it. So I look at the Big 12, though, and I think that I'm going to be honest. Like, I still think that, they can recruit in Techland. They've got money. I don't disagree with that. That's why we're talking about them right now. But I do think there's a difference between having a big wallet and being an elite coach. And I think Joey still has another season to prove that, in my opinion, at least for me. But,
yeah, and we're going to find out. I mean, read that one already. Utah only needs a team that can beat BYU, and I think they're headed in the right direction to do that. BYU will have their hands full, and Utah will make the CFP. Well, now you're awfully lost.
I'll wake you up from the dream. Later on in the year, but I appreciate that you're dreaming. That's cool, dude.
Morgan Scally has a ton of proving to do.
Yeah.
And to stay where Kyle Whittingham was is going to be really difficult. Really difficult. All right. Can we talk about the firing? The resignation of Diana Rossini. And Jake's obsession with her tryst with Mike Vrabel, who will face no punishment, by the way. Just to be clear, Diana Rossini, over this photo and a couple of others, resigned her position with the Athletic in the New York Times yesterday. Mike Vrabel, what penalty is he going to pay?
He won't.
So when I said the other day there's a double standard for women when it comes to sex and affairs and being a hoe, she gave up her career. Mike Vrabel did not. Let that sink in. Appropriate for Diana Rossini to resign, Jake?
Without a doubt. There's zero question about it. And I actually don't think it's just the fact that there's a double standard around male and female, because there's no question about that. That's just factual. I also think there is a double standard, situationally speaking, around the roles that they both work in, right? She's a media member. He's inside the NFL. That's two completely different situations, right? There's two different levels of like integrity here we're working with. And I think that matters. I also think that she was very strong in her statement in denying all of this and saying that hey, like I'm not going to allow the noise of this to bring down the Athletic and the New York Times, and none of this is true. And she basically said that, the media, and talking heads blew this up into something it wasn't. And, I have to say that while, yes, there were many outlets that wrote about the story and covered it, I think major media was pretty light on its coverage. I think talking head media on Twitter and Podcaster Bro was extremely heavy on this. And that's what I think, got her in trouble, is that this is an incredibly relatable situation to men and everybody loves talking about it. And so,
yeah,
I've also criticized Mike. I think that Mike doesn't help the situation. And I know, why would he talk about it? Okay, I get all that, but you're not going to escape the fact that every day that goes by that you don't address this and talk about it, it lives on. Now she's resigned, and now we're going to get some type of report at some point from the Athletic and the New York Times about what all happened here. And
well, she resigned, and I think she resigned in hopes of killing their investigation. That's my opinion, because it's abundantly clear that more information was brought to light when the Athletic and the New York Times started investigating these allegations. So I tend to agree with you that she resigned because more came out.
Yeah.
And she wanted to keep that suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
But her track record is catching up with her. Like when you say stuff like this.
To use the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wearing like a sweatsuit, and it was like a little bit of a crop top, and I remember thinking, I don't want to face this guy with half my skin out, and straddle him, but I also don't want to put my butt on him. Like, I had to make a quick decision.
Yeah.
And so on the way there, I went back, and the way back, I went front. I try to make eye contact with you.
Dudes.
Yeah, I try to give him like the courtesy, like, hey, dude, sorry, I'm giving you a lapper, like while we're going to the bed.
Yeah.
And I could have been naked. You weren't even going to look at me. You're just like,
That's respect.
Right,
So
you're obviously a very happy man,
so-
but you weren't going to see anything. You didn't want to see anything. You just didn't want to obviously continue farting and vomiting.
So
Why do you have such a problem with that, Jake?
Because it speaks to her vibe and her personality. And this is what I've said the whole time. Dude, her personality and her vibe is wonderful. She's a wonderful person. She is a great personality. She's really nice. She's very easy to talk to. That's not the issue here, right? The issue here is that you compromised your integrity through your actions. And that's the issue. Nobody's saying you're a bad person. Did you put undue stress and unwarranted issue into your marriage on both sides?
No,
Yes, you did.
I'm going to say you did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Yes,
you did.
And
Yeah,
there's
you
no
did.
escaping that. And
Yeah.
so then you look at a resignation letter here, and I guess I don't know, man. I think that Diana Rossini has this track record of going on Podcaster Bro's show in a variety of form and fashion and just telling these stories and talking about her husband and talking about crop tops and putting her ass on dude's lap and giving him a lapper when she didn't want to. And like, it's just that whole thing, dude. You don't hear this type of material out of other reporters, other female reporters. You don't hear Erin Andrews or, whatever female reporter you want to look at talking about this stuff. Like, that's not how it works. Yet here she is doing it. So I just think that this reputation was always kind of an interesting dynamic with Diana, and it caught up to her without a doubt, dude. And this little paragraph right here, this is the statement from the Athletic. Dude, this part right here. To its employees, yes. Dude, bro, when this situation was brought to our attention last week, there were concerns But we received a detailed explanation, and it was our instinct to support and defend a colleague while we continued the review of this matter. AKA, we didn't feel like this was a big deal. She gave a proper explanation. That goes on. As additional information emerged, new questions were raised that became part of our investigation. Meaning, hey, as we looked further into this, yeah, it turns out there actually was concerns. It actually does look like there's some legs to this story. And now, we're going to have to talk about her resigning. She chose to resign. We will continue a standard review of Diana's work. We will continue a standards review of Diana's work that Mike Semmel is leading. So I just think that it's hey, dude, we did an initial review. She gave us her response or her explanation. It was fine. But upon further review, we found more issues, which then brings us to the obvious resignation letter of Rossini, which I just think is hilarious that she's like, hey, dude, everybody kind of blew this out of proportion and I'm resigning, not because it's true. There's no truth to this. I did nothing wrong, but I'm resigning to help The Athletic and the New York Times continue to move forward. That's what my issue was with the resignation letter. So,
yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I think that this whole thing will be interesting. So his penalty is going to be with his wife. Well,
correct.
Listen, that's all well and good, but Diana Rossini had to give up her career.
Well, you also said earlier this week that she'd have a laundry list of offers. So, I mean,
she will, but
know.
Again, it's the New York Times and The Athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like those jobs are growing on trees. Mike Vrabel is a hero today for smashing with Diana Rossini, allegedly. He made a choice to, and if he gets divorced over this, he made that choice to do that. So did Diana Rossini. She's paying a much higher personal and professional price than Mike. Diana Rossini has been under the microscope. How come we're not doing entire podcasts with Albert Breer and Pro Football Talk and Bussin' with the Boys? And how come nobody's talking about punishment for Mike Vrabel? How come nobody's investigating Mike Vrabel in the workplace? Because he's a guy, and this is what dudes do. And Diana Rossini breached her ethics, which I agree she did. And now we're just assuming that they had sex and she traded sex for secrets.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of that.
Well, there's no evidence of that, but that's the problem. This is what we always get to on the show, is that the court of public opinion is the one that matters more than what actually happened.
Correct.
And so now the question is going to become, hey, well, you resigned. How long are you disappearing? How quiet is the Twitter account going to be? Are we going to continue to get sourced information? And the funny thing was, too, on the resignation tweet, when she put this out, she prevented replies to that tweet. So,
correct.
Which
she should have done.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I would have done it too, but it also just furthers the narrative, whether she likes that or not, whether that's or not, it furthers the narrative. So,
I think the double standard is impossible.
But I agree that there's a double standard, but that's our world. That's like,
yeah,
it sucks. It's terrible. It's brutal. There shouldn't be. Mike should have to resign from his post.
Yeah, and
coach,
Jake, the sun should be out and the birds should be chirping, but it's cloudy and rainy. I understand it.
Mike works for the guy that went to the orchids of Asia and should have been in prison for a couple of months, but because he didn't check a box, he didn't get in trouble. I mean, this is who he works for, dude.
Yeah.
We're really surprised that bro's not being disciplined. I mean, come on, man. Like, this is not in question.
No punishment for Vrabel. He is probably going to end up with no wife and an alimony bill. Who's to say his wife isn't the one hiring the PI? Maybe she is.
Maybe so.
But the point is, Mike Vrabel's not giving up his career, his income. Diana Rossini just lost her career and her income for however long or whatever.
Whatever it looks like.
The punishment is not fitting of the alleged crime.
And I agree. I also agree with Breer. We played it earlier in the week. The damage she has done already to female reporter is immeasurable. There's no question about it. No question about it.
Yeah. And I think Albert's spot on with that.
The lines get blurred in these sorts of situations sometimes, and it's again, like it's hard because I think a lot of times, a lot of like my female colleagues get questioned in ways when they're seen with these guys out.
No question.
In ways that I do not get questioned.
No, there's absolutely no question.
You know, and I think that a lot of that is totally unfair.
It is.
And if this is what it looks like, then this is really bad for all the women who are doing it on the level, you know? And like, that's the part that Diana's done such a good job covering the league, but if that line was crossed, well, then she's screwing over a lot of other women. You know what I mean? It's going to make a lot of other women, it's going to make people make assumptions about a lot of other women who don't deserve to have those assumptions made about them.
Well, correct.
Brutally correct.
Rossini is all a morals and integrity thing. She did not break the law. Correct.
Which is the incredible part. I actually, that's a great point, dude. Nothing here is illegal. There's no criminality. It's just, it's all legal from a world view, right and wrong, morals and ethics thing, which is crazy.
Yeah. She'll probably end up somewhere on Fox. They seem to like shady cheaters. I'm looking at you, Pervin.
No, I'm looking at you, Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor. Okay, couple of non-sports stories. Can we talk about Joe Osteen for a minute? Please.
Speaking of morals and ethics.
I'm a firm believer that Joel Osteen is a scumbag. I'm a big believer that Joel Osteen, who didn't want to open his church during the Houston floods several years ago, allegedly. Do you believe Joel Osteen when he says, "Nah, I don't take a paycheck"?
Oh, you know what? People like to make up stuff, but
just right out of the gate, he's a creeper, dude.
He's just a douche, bro. No, I would never do that.
Like, look at his head. That is the devil twisting your cock neck up, Joel, because he knows what's coming out the mouth.
oh, you know what? People like to make up stuff, but I don't think I've ever sat in a Ferrari, and they show me pictures of me driving Ferraris and fleets of cars, and Joel's got his yachts and jets and stuff, but I never respond to it.
Wait, so you have no yachts?
I have no yachts.
Wait.
I have no jets. I have no
you
cars.
won't even have one jet.
I don't have one jet. I've never owned a jet. I've never owned a yacht or, a fleet of cars, or I don't take a salary from the church. I've been blessed with book sales and media and other things, so I don't have to take a salary. So I can work here for basically no salary. And I haven't for most of the time, the 26 years here or so. So, but, people like to think it's all about money and things like that. But I'm the ones that want to try to discredit you, but it's never taken a salary.
First of all, scumbag, you're sitting on stage with Logan Paul. Yeah, because Jesus would break bread with Logan Paul. Second of all, he lives a lavish lifestyle. Do you believe him when he says that he doesn't take a paycheck, Jake?
No, I don't. I think it's the... Okay, let me rephrase. Does he take a paycheck? Is he a W-2 of the church? Maybe not. But bro is absolutely rolling in it from the proceeds from the church. And again, this is what I'm going to say. This is what the rich folk do, right? And again, if you're rich, I'm not disparaging you. I'm just telling you, I know that you scheme your way through this, right? Hey, I don't take a paycheck from the church. I don't have W-2s. I don't take any money.
Come on. The guy lives in River Oaks.
Yeah, dude. He's a gazillionaire. He's a gazillionaire. Why?
I was looking at this yesterday because we were going to talk about this yesterday. Buddy's net worth is $100 million. And his home is valued at $10.5 million. And I agree that you're right. He doesn't W-2 the church, right? He ain't getting that direct deposit every other Friday.
22% tax bracket, dude. Come on.
But you cannot tell me that the scumbag boy isn't reaping off of his affiliation with that church. He talked about how he's written books and he's had multiple bestsellers, and because he's a pastor at Lakewood.
Yeah.
So we can sit here and talk about he doesn't take a salary from the church. He makes money off the church. I just think the Joel Osteen, these televangelists, I don't have a problem with you being rich. In fact, I'm a big believer that we go out of our way in this country to shame the rich.
Yes.
What I have a problem with is that you're doing it on the Bible and the scriptures and the word of God.
Jesus Christ.
And you're sitting up there with Logan Paul. You're a hypocrite.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
You're a hypocrite. I'm not telling you you have to be poor. I'm not telling you you're a scumbag because you're rich. I'm telling you you're a scumbag because you didn't want to open the doors at your church during the floods. I'm telling you you're a hypocrite because you want us to believe, I don't have jets and boats and cars, but you do live in a $10.5 million mansion.
Come on, dude.
If you're going to talk about your money, let's talk about your money. You're a $100 million net worth guy, according to the interwebs.
Tick.
Come on. Yeah, hit the like button.
Yeah, that can be your tithing to the show. Hit the like button.
Right. He doesn't drive a Ferrari. He drives a Bugatti.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, dude. I got confused. Once we got over that $1 million for a car, Mark, I got a little bit confused with the gray area of, which car it was. That's my fault.
All I know is that he claims that he drives a 12-year-old Audi sedan. But there were rumors in 2021 that he owned a $325,000 Ferrari F12. Is that true? I don't know. I don't believe that Joel Osteen drives a Ferrari. I don't believe
He
that.
doesn't really strike me as Ferrari guy at all, honestly.
I think Joel Osteen and all these dudes like Joel Osteen take advantage of poor people. That's what I think. And I hate it, right? I can't stand it. Yeah, Jesus would overturn every table in his house. Yes, he would.
Yes.
But he did. Jesus, well, he is risen. We get it. Anyway, and they think everyone around them is as stupid as they are.
That's bullshit.
Because nobody would ever question Joel Osteen.
Right.
And again, how are they so out of touch with reality?
Because they don't live in our reality.
And just look at the way he just gives me weird aura.
Oh, you know what? People like to make up stuff, but I don't think I've ever sat in a Ferrari, and they show me pictures of me driving Ferraris and fleets of cars, and Joel's got his yachts and jets and stuff, but I never respond to it.
Wait, so you have no yachts?
I have no yachts.
Wait.
I have no jets. I have no cars.
You won't even have one jet.
I don't have one jet. I've never owned a jet. I've never owned a yacht or, a fleet of cars, or I don't take a salary from the church. I've been blessed with book sales and media and other things, so I don't have to take a salary. So I can work here for basically no salary. And I haven't for most of the time, the 26 years here or so. So, but, people like to think it's all about money and things like that. But I'm the ones that want to try to discredit you, but it's never taken a salary.
And notice he says salary or something like that, right? I don't begrudge guys for being rich. I begrudge them for being disingenuous. And
Yes.
that's what this feels like.
Yes. Couldn't agree more, dude. It's not that you have the money. It's how you came to the money, as always. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem, man.
And why do you want to hide it? Why not just be transparent?
Yeah, why not be like that pastor, I think, who's based in Atlanta, who parks the Lambo on the stage while he's preaching, and then says, I'll see you guys next week.
I need another
and drives
one.
away. Yeah, why not be that guy, right? I mean, why not just go fully in? Why not lean in, dude? Yeah, lean in, Joel. How about we do that, dude? Lean in the way you lean in small group, and then we'll all buy in. How about that? How about that, dude?
Lean in the way you lean in small group.
Yeah. And by the way, James, any thoughts on Joel Osteen, dude? Any thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Steely, book sales make you filthy rich. Who knew? Yeah. But he's also got a huge like podcasting and media distribution thing. And again, he's built an empire, and I have no problem with that. But when you're a pastor at one of the world's largest churches and it rains and people need a place to shelter, open your church, you dick. Like, open your church. Oh, what would Jesus do? He'd open the church.
Jesus wouldn't be taking, 40% of the church's proceeds to fund your life.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. The Monty Show, as always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. We'll be back on Monday, taking our little mini vacation. Enjoy that. We'll have full NFL draft prep next week. I am so excited to talk about the NFL draft, to talk actual football. Can't wait for that. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And if the worst happens, get to the best at the Advocates. Theadvocates.com. You've been in a wreck, you get in a car accident, you fall off your bike, your neighbor's dog freaks out and attacks you or your family. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, where you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates. You don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So go get clear, risk-free advice at theadvocates.com. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.